Ms. Pacina, can you start us off with a roll call?
Good morning, Commissioners. District 1, District 2, District 3,
Here.
District 4, vacant, District 5, Chair Shadid,
Present.
District 6,
Present.
District 7, District 7, District 8,
Present.
District 9, District 10, District 10, District 11, District 11, District 12,
Present.
District 13,
Here.
District 14, and Place 15.
I'm here.
You have quorum, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pacina. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the briefing of the Dallas City Plan Commission. Today is Thursday, January 18th, 2024, 9:12 a.m. Happy New Year, Commissioners. Welcome back to the business of the city. We have a 52 case docket waiting for you. I hope you had plenty of rest. I want to start off by thanking staff for getting all the presentations out. It is very helpful. It's going to be very helpful to keep a brisk pace here today, Commissioners. I hope you had a chance to look over the presentations. But as always, this is a time for Commissioners to ask questions of staff, and we will keep all our comments to the hearing beginning at 12:30. With that, we'll begin with Ms. Moorman. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning. First, this is item number 3 on your agenda. It is.
Don, I think the microphone's not on.
Can you hear me? No, didn't have it posted.
Not yet.
All right. Okay, this is miscellaneous item M234-003. I apologize, it's not working through it. The request is for a minor amendment to an existing development plan on property zoned PD number 1053, which is the Zion Lutheran Church and School. It's 7.29 acres and it's in Council District 9. It is located north and east of downtown on the northeast corner of Skillman Street and East Lovers Lane. The zoning and land use around it is single family to the north, east, south, a little multifamily to the southwest, and multifamily to the west. An aerial view. And the applicant is proposing to construct a paved sports game court. There is to be no exterior lighting being added, and new screening hedge and tree is to be added north of the proposed game court on the property just south of the alley. This is the proposed development plan. Circled in red is where the proposed sports court is to go. Being located, let's see, I think I've got it, in an area just north of the parking lot. Currently it's the existing play fields, and to the left of the playground, just north of the parking area. An aerial view of where the sport court is proposed. And this is the current existing development plan. The area circled is where the sports court is proposed. And staff recommendation is approval.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mormon. Questions? Commissioner Hampton.
Thank you. Ms. Mormon, was there any consideration on the applicant side to rotating the sports court to provide additional space between the new location and the existing residences to the plan north of the site?
We had some conversations, and then ultimately they decided to go this direction, and I would suggest that you may want to ask that question to them during the public hearing.
Okay, thank you. And then you mentioned the new screening in the hedge. Is that a required landscape buffer?
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Hall.
Ms. Mormon, we received a bit of community feedback, both in support and opposition. One of them sent a photograph. It looked like maybe the concrete pad had already been poured.
So I believe that initially they started construction, not realizing that they needed a permit to do so. And once they found out, they did go for the permit, which is at the time when permitting sent them to us for an amendment to their development plan to show the sports court.
But there is a pad or something there.
I believe that they started construction, but did not finish
Did not been, okay,
because they were sent to us for a minor amendment
right,
to the development plan.
correct. Thank you.
Commissioner Kingston.
Yeah, I'm struggling with how this is a minor amendment because under our standards, this seems like it's going to adversely impact the nearby property owners. Can you
So-
explain?
Sure. When we were looking at this, this is an accessory use incidental to the main use of the school. And it was relocating, or basically right now, they play basketball in the north section of the parking lot. And then they were intending to pave an area for the sports court that is already existing play fields. So to just go from a grass field to a paved court. And the area is already used for play and field play.
Commissioner Sleeper.
Ms. Mormon, we've discussed this case, and I know that staff is of the opinion that this is a legal use within the PD. And as I understand it, the only basis that you've been able to determine to deny this would be if it had a somewhat ill-defined adverse impact on neighboring property. Is that basically correct?
If Planning Commission were to decide that this did not meet the criteria for being a minor amendment, that would be what you would determine that you wanted to deny it on the basis of. And I do have, I can show you that criteria.
I just want to clarify, Commissioner, and to your point, Commissioner Kingston, it's not adverse effect, it's alter the basic relationship of the proposed development to the adjacent property. So slightly different language, but that's the standard.
Can you repeat?
Sure. So it's a basis to deny would be to alter that the proposed development alters the basic relationship to the adjacent property.
So I do have it up on the criteria on this slide.
So alter the basic relationship, and so increase the height, that doesn't apply. Decrease the amount of parking, that doesn't apply. Reduce building setbacks, that doesn't apply. So really, it's alter the basic relationship is the only criteria upon which it could be denied.
That's
Is that
correct, Commissioner. Yes.
Okay. Can I ask this question? I know that we had a case earlier this year, maybe just a couple of months ago, that involved a property in North Dallas that was looking at putting in a pickleball court, and some of the neighbors were unhappy about that. And the same basic issues applied, the concern about the proximity and noise. Can someone remind me of how that case got resolved?
Commissioner, I don't see the standard is what the standard is, and sort of what CPC did in the past with other properties, I don't think is necessarily relevant. I think the question for the body is whether or not the proposed development alters the basic relationship. So I would encourage you to look at that and not what CPC considered it other sites using a minor amendment in the past.
Well, thank you for that answer, I think. Maybe if I were to not ask staff, but ask if anybody else around here sort of remembers, because wasn't there some direction to have the parties meet and discuss this even after the case was decided? Am I remembering that correctly? I know I'll try to stay within the bounds. If I go out, you slap me down again. But does anyone recall that resolution, or recall it and feel comfortable discussing it without getting in trouble with the staff? I guess the answer to that is no. Okay. All right.
CPC fog, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Just all kind of blend together after a couple
You've seen a
hundred
few
of these.
cases between now and then.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
well,
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And I guess we'll wait for the discussion to take place at the workshop. Thank you.
thank you. Look forward to that. Commissioner Kingston.
Oh, where are you going, Daniel? Alter the basic relationship. Do you have any support for what that means?
In terms of, the phrase is not defined in Chapter 51A, if that's what you're asking.
Well, so it could be noise, an increase in noise or an increase of hours of use. Those could all alter the basic relationship, right?
I suppose, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, we'll keep moving forward. Thank you, Mr. Moore. We'll go to case number 4. Ms. Blue.
Good morning, Commissioners. Happy New Year. Let me share my screen. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
All right. This is M223-036. It's a request for a CPC relief to the street frontage requirements along Parker Street due to site constraints per section 51P-317.120 C4 It's in PD 317 sub area 3. It's around 6.7577 acres. It's in Council District Number 2. It is located along the west line of Parker Street between Parnell and Botham Jean Boulevard. Here's details of the section that I called out earlier. It's basically saying that CPC can approve a site plan at a public hearing that does not comply with the requirements for street frontage regulations if these 3 things apply, or so meeting the requirements are not impartial due to site constraints. Meeting the requirements will result in a substantial hardship And the relief will not affect the surrounding property. And then also, whatever the applicant is proposing, if it furthers the purpose of actually the district, which is to encourage high-density office, lodging, retail, and residential use along the Interstate Highway 30 frontage, to encourage development that takes advantage of the regional highway access and the excellent downtown view while preserving the view for other sub-districts in the Cedars Area Special Purpose District. So as of right now, the code calls out for a min max. It'll be a min of 5 feet and a max of 8 feet, which means the street frontage facade of the building has to be within 70%. So here's a couple of response from the applicant. Site restraints. Frontage along Parker site only runs 117.47 feet due to adjacency to a DART office, and then also street frontage along Parker is not feasible due to meeting the requirements for fire access and also the main ingress and egress onto the property. Here are some details from the applicant calling out their response as far as meeting the standards for the 3 things that were called out in the code. The first thing I talked about earlier, as far as the fire access, ingress, and egress, is not feasible. That's why they can't meet the street frontage. The second one talks about the adjacent property of the DART. Street frontage along Parker will not adversely affect surrounding properties due to the adjacency to the busy DART rail and also the small service office. Also, traffic along Parker Street will be minimum and will serve fire rescue when needed in the small DART office and also access to the development. And so for number 3, here are some things that the applicant actually put in that said they can do to kind of beautify or reserve the areas along Corinth and Botham Jean, since they don't have an ingress and egress going onto the property on those streets. So the first thing they're proposing, to preserve the pedestrian walkable experience along Botham Jean and Corinth by not interrupting the pedestrian flow with any ingress and egress onto the property on these 2 streets. They're also proposing to actually update the sidewalks on Botham Jean and Corinth up to current code to allow for a smooth walkable journey for the pedestrians. They also want to create a welcoming streetscape along Botham Jean and Corinth by incorporating landscape along both street frontage. This will be additional landscape from what the code is required. And then they're also proposing to add some benches on Botham Jean and Corinth. So the tenants and also people waiting for the DART will be comfortable and it'll be a convenience for them along those 2 streets. Here is the numbers. So here's the numbers for Parker is only, as I said earlier, 117.7 feet. So with the 70%, 82.22 feet supposed to be in the min max. And right now the applicant is only proposing 34.10 feet. Sorry, I had inches instead of feet there. And so with that being said, only 29% of the required facade is in the min max. And so the applicant is proposing a relief of 41% to actually bring them up to code and compliance, so they can only have that 29% within the min max. Here is the proposed site plan with the area request. Here's Botham Jean running here. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not. And then the area request is along Parker. Here's enlarge area request. Here's an area view, which calls out Parker. Here's the busy DART station, and up northeast, you can see where the property is kind of cut out close to the DART station. There's where the DART office is. And so I also have some pictures of the site. So this is at Botham Jean and Parker at that corner. This is at the other corner of Parker and Parnell. You can see this little metal building here. That's the DART office, service office. Here is looking west down Botham Jean. Here is looking northeast down Corinth. And here's just some photos of the back of the property. This top one is showing the DART station that runs behind the property. And then this one shows the corner of Parnell and Botham Jean. And so staff recommendations is approval subject to site plan. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much, Ms. Blue. Questions, commissioners? Any questions on this item? Okay, thank you, Ms. Blue. Commissioners, let's go ahead and get into our, well, let's do the development plan. Why don't we table that just for the moment? Commissioner Wheeler is on her way, so let's skip our development plan and begin our zoning cases. And here's where we are with the docket, commissioners. To the surprise of no one, some cases have come off consent. All D4 cases will come off consent. There are 5 of them, and all will be held to February 15th. All of them. All D4 cases, yeah. I'll give you those numbers. But at this point, these are the cases that have come off consent. Number 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, okay, 17, 18, 23, and 25. And of course, not all of those will be held under advisement. Some of those, a couple of us have conflicts. Some of those there's opposition, and some of them there was some a need to take them off the consent agenda to correct some language. But we'll get to one at a time. The ones that are going to get held, we will brief at a future date. So that takes us to case number 6 will be held under advisement till February 15th. So that takes us to case number 7. Mr. Pepe.
Can you see my presentation online? Looks like it. Yes, so this is Z223212. And this is located up near Buckner Road, South Buckner. And it's an application for an MU1D mixed use district with a D liquor control overlay on property zoned as CRD community retail district with a D liquor control overlay on the southeast corner of Pritchard Lane and Sain Road. It's 6.49 acres. And the purpose of the request is to permit residential uses on the site. Here's the site as it exists today. And it's generally undeveloped. So to the north, there's cemetery. There's another portion of the cemetery to the east, as well as to the east, there's a retail strip with a grocery store, other personal service uses. There's multifamily to the south. It built out under CR. To the west, there's an open enrollment charter school, and to the northwest, there's a church. So it is currently that CR community retail district, currently undeveloped. They're proposing residential uses. Because they are surrounded generally by CR that's either built out or undeveloped, but could easily be developed as commercial. They're requesting MU to permit those residential uses to not to form that appropriate transition between commercial and residential zoning. When I get down to the site really quick, here we are on Sain. I'm gonna move west, further west, turning the corner on Pritchard, and looking, it's actually looking east. Yeah, a little farther down on Pritchard, there's the multifamily that's built out under the CR to the south. Then turning around, looking west at the open enrollment charter school to the west, right across the street from this side. Then to the north is the cemetery, more cemetery to the northeast. And then that's as you right headed towards Buckner by about a block. Yeah, and that's, there's more cemetery on my right here. So just quickly, the development standards between CR and MU have some similarity, but the uses that they're going to do are going to be residential. However, the MU is not going to impose certain adjacency issues on the adjacent CR as would maybe a residential, low-density residential district. And here's that adjacency that I'm talking about, just to make that clear. The D dry overlay, liquor control overlay will remain in place. And moving on, staff's recommendation is approval.
Thank you, sir. Questions, commissioners? Mr. Hall, Commissioner Hall, please.
Do we know what type residential they're thinking about?
They initially proposed townhome uses, which is not a use. That would be a single family, which would be allowable under the MU1, but they'd have some options under MU1 as well.
So it could be single family, could it be apartments or anything like?
Mixed use would also allow multifamily, yeah.
Okay, but not townhomes.
Well, townhomes isn't a use, is why I say that. I'm being particular, but they proposed townhomes. So what that really means is maybe single family attached with small lots in a row. That's what normal people will call townhomes, we call single family in the code.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Commissioner Herbert, please.
Is the cemetery active, and how intrusive is the community going to be on the cemetery?
Well, the cemetery is mostly on the north side of the road. I think the facilities associated with the cemetery on the south side might be some of the crematorium use kind of on the south part. So mainly the cemetery is on the north part, and they're separated by a pretty wide road. I can't remember the required right of way, but they're going to have to improve the south side of the road to bring it up to standard as they build out. And so that's a pretty significant distance. Cemetery also abuts Buckner on the east side, so it's not exactly in an isolated or rural area or anything like that. So compared to CR, you might see some lower intensity or traffic uses compared to what's built out or could be built out under the CR.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Mr. Pepe, as you know, this is a general zoning change, and I think at one point the applicant had a potential site plan floating around. Are you aware that the applicant has made a commitment to go beyond the green space requirement and shave off several units to add more green space?
I was not aware. Sounds good.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, we'll keep going to case number 8. Number 8 has come off consent and will be heard individually. It has come off consent. Mr. Roberts.
Yes, good morning, commissioners. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful, thank you. Just give me one moment here. I'll get this pulled up.
While Connor is pulling up, I'm going to take a moment to acknowledge that Connor Roberts and Wilson Kerr are actually staff augmentation, and they're part of our team. And they're helping us to bring up the caseload. So you will see them presenting at CPC, and you will see their names or reaching out to you or on cases.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andrea. And can everyone see my screen? Hopefully this works well.
We can. Thank you and welcome.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chair. Appreciate that. And let's see. Is it in presentation mode or is it still in? display mode.
It's not in presentation mode. You could zoom in a little.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, thanks, Michael. Give me one moment. Apologize for that. Still learning this WebEx. Go. How about now? Better? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commission, for having us this morning. This is case Z223215. It is an amendment to SUP 2325, allowing for the continuation and expansion of an alcoholic beverage establishment limited to a microbrewery, microdistillery, or winery. In this case, it is a winery. It's located at the northeast corner of Olympus Boulevard and Wharf Road. That's in the Cypress Waters District. The expansion is from a 901 square foot unit to a combined 3,173 square foot unit. Within a building, the total square footage of the building is 19,580 square feet. It is within Council District 6. Some zoning context for you, it is within sub-area A of PD 741. Again, that's the Cypress Waters. The existing SUP 2325 was adopted in March of 2019. You can see its relationship there to the rest of the city, Cypress Waters District, far northwest. And on the right, you'll see the site specifically. That site does encompass the full building and its relationship to Cypress Boulevard and Wharf Road there. You'll see its relationship to surrounding land uses here on the aerial, the private recreation space to the southeast. As far as zoning districts, it's all within sub-area A. The use breakdown, you can see it's surrounded on several sides by office uses, multifamily to the northwest. So restaurant uses to the north, and again, that private open space or recreation center is the way the code lists it to the southeast. During our site visit, this is a view of the unit looking to the northwest from a pedestrian path. Just further up that pedestrian path, looking further southwest, back at the unit. This is from the rear of the building, some off-street parking looking to the southeast at the unit. Again, this is an amended site plan, so you can take a look. This is the existing site plan. You'll see the 901 square feet highlighted in red there on the left, and then zoomed in on the right for context. You'll see the proposed site plan here with that same 901 square feet, the lower of those red blocks, then the additional square feet added by this application just north of that in the same building. With that, staff does recommend approval for the 5-year period with eligibility for automatic renewal. For additional 5-year periods, it is subject to amended site plan and amended conditions. And with that, Chair, I'll take any questions as I can.
Thank you, sir. Questions? Commissioner Carpenter.
Mr. Pepe. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Mr. Pepe's case. I apologize. Again, Mr. Mulkey, I suppose I'm asking this question. The only reason this was taken off consent is because we had to change the staff recommendation for approval to accommodate an amended site plan. Is there any reason why it can't stay on consent with staff recommendations as in the docket and briefed?
Can everyone hear me with my mask on? Okay,
We
cool.
can.
Just wanted to make
I
sure.
couldn't find it.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, Daniel and I, and we agreed that it would essentially be cleaner to take it off consent
Okay.
and hear it individually.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, we'll keep going. Case number 9, commissioners, has come off consent and will be held under advisement to March 7th. We'll brief it then. Takes us to case number 10. It's also come off consent. Will be heard today. So the language also subject to amended site plan and amended landscape plan and conditions. So there's just a little wording there, commissioners. Only reasons coming off consent. Ms. Garza, good morning. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Item number 10 is KZ 223248. It's an application for an amendment to specific use permit number 1464 for a refuse transfer station on property zoned IM Industrial Manufacturing District. It is located on the Southland California Crossing Road east of Whitwood Drive. So some of the surrounding areas. To the north, it's an office, showroom, warehouse, industrial inside warehouse use. To the east, industrial inside, and then to the south is vehicle storage lot, and then to the southwest, commercial motor vehicle parking. So the area request is with the refuse transfer station. Refuse transfer station requires a specific use permit. On April 10, 2002, City Council approved a zoning request for a specific use permit number 1464. And then for a 10-year period with eligible for automatic renewals for additional 10-year periods. The SUP was automatically renewed for an additional 10 years in 2012. And then on August 2018, City Council approved an amendment to SUP for an additional 10 years. And then on October of 2021, City Plan Commission approved a minor amendment to an existing site plan and landscaping plan. And then the applicant is proposing to amend the SUP number 1464 to allow the following. Add proposed Baylor building to enable more efficient management of recycled products. Increase the expansion of the building on the west side. Update the SUP plans to reflect completed building structures, which were previously shown on SUP plans as proposed. And update off and on-site parking spaces as suggested for building improvements. Since the docket was published, the applicant is now requesting a change to the time period of the existing SUP. The applicant has requested to remove conditions that were included in the previous approval that are redundant to the existing code. So these are some of the site photos. And then around the area. And this is the existing site plan that is currently, and then this is now the proposed site plan of which they are amending. And then as well as the existing landscaping plan. And then they're also updating the landscaping plan to show the new buildings as well. This is a proposed landscaping plan. And then, so as I mentioned, from the docket being published, the applicant has requested for it, because right now the specific use permit does expire until 2028. However, the applicant is requesting an additional 10-year, so a 10-year from the passage of the ordinance. And then these are the conditions that are being removed. The planning, off-street parking and loading, solid waste, stormwater ordinance, which are redundant to the existing code. And then staff recommendation is approved for a 10-year period with eligibility for automatic renewal for an additional 10-year periods, subject to an amended site plan, an amended landscaping plan, and amended conditions as briefed.
Thank you very much, Ms. Garza. And again, Commissioners, this came off consent just for the additional language of amended landscape plan and amended conditions. Questions? Commissioner Hampton.
Thank you. Ms. Garza, just one question on the removed conditions. While I understand removing listing of the number of parking required because that's redundant in code, but it also states the location where it is required on the plan. Was there any consideration of that moving on the site to an area that might not be appropriate or desirable?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, Commissioners? Thank you very much, Ms. Garza. Commissioners, let's move to number 11.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Commission. Let's load up here. Try that again. Can everyone see that?
We can.
Perfect. Thank you, Chair. This is case Z223275. It is a request for renewal of SUP number 2304. That allows for a alcoholic beverage establishment, bar, lounge, or tavern. It's located approximately 80 feet southeast of the corner of South Harwood Street and Hickory Street. It's approximately a 1,700 square foot unit within a total 5,075 square foot building, and it is within Council District 2. Some zoning background for you. It's currently zoned within Subdistrict 2 of PD 317. That's the Cedars Special Purpose District. It has a few overlays applicable, including the demolition delay, the airport height overlay for Love Field, as well as the downtown perimeter. The original SUP 2304 was adopted in October of 2020. I can see its relationship there, denoted by the star. And on the right, you'll see its relationship to the block around it, including South Harwood here. You can see that relationship again on the aerial map. In relation to the zoning districts, there are several sub-districts to the Cedars in the area. Those are in red for reference. In blue, you'll see the surrounding uses, some vacant lots and units noted to the south, some multifamily across the street, some light industrial also across the way, some personal service uses to the north, and then a multi-tenant retail building to the rear of the property over an alleyway. Taking a look at the front of the building from South Harwood, looking northeast, looking back down South Harwood to the southwest, you'll see a clip of that multifamily structure, this caddy corner, and then looking up South Harwood to the northwest, the unit just to the right of that. Taking a look at the site plan, noted on site. And with that, staff's recommendation is approval for a 5-year period, subject to amending conditions. And with that, I'll be available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Questions, Commissioner? Okay, thank you, Mr. Roberts. We'll move on to case number 12. That will be held under advisement till February 15th, coming off consent. 13 will be heard today, but is also coming off consent. Ms. Bridges, good morning.
This is case number Z223297. It's an application for a specific use permit for a bank or savings and loan office with a drive-through on property zone GR, General Retail, sub-district within Planned Development District 193, the Oakland Special Purpose District in the southwest corner of Oakland Avenue and Avondale Avenue. This is the location map. This is the area map, and the area of request is outlined in blue. This is the zoning map. You have personal service, office, and retail surrounding the area of request. It's currently zoned PD 193, the general retail. The lot has frontage on Oakland, and they propose to utilize the existing drive-through at a bank or savings and loan office. And to accomplish this, they are requesting an SUP. The next few photos will be of the site and surrounding uses. This is the intersection of Avondale and Oakland. And staff recommendation, approval for a 10-year period with eligibility for automatic renewals for an additional 10-year period, and is subject to site plan and conditions.
Thank you so much. Questions, Commissioner? No questions. Thank you, Ms. Bridges. Commissioners, cases 14 and 15 will come off consent, will be held under advisement till February 15th. Case number 16 will be heard today, but has come off consent. Mr. Clinton, good morning. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Good day. How's everyone?
Great, thank you.
All right, this is case Z223303. It is an application for the renewal of specific use permit number 2278 for an extended hours historic house museum, meeting space, and fundraising on a property zone tract G within Planned Development District number 63, the Swiss Avenue Historic District with Historic District Overlay on the southeast corner of Swiss and Parkmont Street. This renewal of the SUP would be to allow continued operation of the Historic House Museum, and it is approximately 1.17 acres in size. Here's our location map with the site. This is our aerial zoom in. Here's our zoning map with the surrounding uses. To the north, we have single family. To the northeast, single family historic district. To the east, southeast, we have single family and planned development 99. And then to the west, there's also single family historic district, PD 63. Brief background on this proposal. So it's currently zoned under planned development number 63, again with the historic district overlay. This lot has frontage on both Swiss Avenue and Parkmont Street. Hours of operation would be between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday at a maximum total of 36 days per calendar year. The applicant proposes no other changes to the land use or the site plan. Again, it is a SUP renewal. The current SUP expires 1/24 of this year. And they filed for renewal last year, July 7th, for a 3-year period. Here we have some site visit photos on property looking towards the site. Here we're on property looking down Swiss Avenue. This is also on property looking adjacent to the site. This is on property looking down Swiss Avenue to the west. Here we're on the corner of Swiss Avenue and Parkmont Street looking northwest. Again on the corner looking south. On the corner looking south. This is adjacent to the site to the west. This is on Parkmont Street looking down the driveway, so the back alley of the site. Here are the SUP conditions. Again, no other changes. Here's their existing site plan. And staff recommendation is approval.
Thank you, sir. Questions, Commissioner Kingston?
Thank you. Looking at the SUP conditions, under the first condition is use. Are all of those uses defined by the code? Historic house, museum, meeting space, and fundraising?
Yes, those uses are defined under their base, the base zoning.
What is the base zoning?
So they are under the plan development number 63.
Yeah, what is that? In looking at this, I was trying to find in the code those three uses so I could understand the parameters around those uses. For instance, what part of the code would I go to define when this establishment can be open?
It's a good question. I will have to get back to you on that one.
Okay. I've got a couple others.
I can actually jump in on that one real
Sure.
quick. So the use historic house, museum, and meeting space is sort of a custom use that's defined within PD number 63. So it's specific to just that PD. It's not a standard use in Chapter 51A.
And is there anything in that definition that defines when they can operate? I know that there's some limitations on operations, but
No, and I can just read that definition aloud. Historic house, museum, and meeting space means a facility that offers tours and hosts educational programs and official meetings of nonprofit organizations, except for the use of the property for portrait photographs, and historic house, museum, and meeting space does not include commercial events or renting the space for a fee. And there's actually a second use right above that one, use 14.1 for fundraising. That means the act or process of gathering voluntary contributions from individuals, businesses, charitable foundations, or government agencies for the benefit of nonprofit organizations or political causes or candidates. Either of those uses, it does not mention hours of operation specifically. Really, the purpose of this SUP isn't really for either of those uses. It's for it to be an extended hours use, meaning the SUP is to stay open past 5 p.m., a maximum of 36 calendar days per year.
I see that. But where do I find in the code the hours they can operate?
Commissioner Kingston, it is
Yeah.
in the use regulations for Area G, that's 51P 63.132. So for a historic house and museum and meeting space, it is by right between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Sunday, by SUP from 5 p.m. By SUP only between 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. Monday through Sunday. And then for the fundraising, it is allowed by SUP only.
Okay, thank you. And so my next question is looking at condition 4, the after hours operations. How do we track compliance with that?
Is that a question for me, Commissioner?
Oh, no, it could be a question for anyone.
Andrea, do you want to take that one?
Okay, so number
It's-
4, did you understand my question?
Yeah, but isn't it like tracked by the monthly activity report?
Well, that was going to be my next question. What goes in the report?
Yes, I think that's the intent, to be tracked by the monthly activity report. And we reached out to Councilmember Ridley's office. He confirmed that he receives the monthly reports, and I will leave the applicant to say what's in the report. I don't know if we received any of the report to see what's in that.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Hampton, please.
If I can just ask one, Mr. LaQuant, I saw that we received some reply forms in opposition, but I didn't see that there was any statements. Did you receive any communications on that? On what the concerns were?
I didn't receive anything in terms of opposition. I actually received multiple supporting.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hampton. Commissioner Kingston, followed by Commissioner Hall.
Thank you. Did staff receive any of the reply forms? Because when I look at the notification area, it looks like 90% of the people who responded are in opposition. Usually we get the little blue forms with part of our packet, and I didn't see that. I don't know. Let me. Okay.
Mayor, isn't it the case that we only get the copies of the ballots if there are comments? Because they don't include them if it's just checked in support or in opposition, but there's no additional commentary. We just get the total.
We can move on. I can get that to me out of break or something. We did send all the reply forms this morning. It was a little bit, a lot yesterday. We scanned them towards the end of the day, and we sent all of them to the entire commission this morning.
You might check it. I think there was an email with 3 separate attachments. Maybe it's in there, yeah.
I'll look at them.
Will you confirm, Commissioner Hall?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I understood. We did receive a lot of community comment in support, but now I'm hearing we did receive comment in opposition. Is that?
We received some phone calls of people asking how to submit reply forms. They didn't say in support of or opposition. I think they were leaning towards opposition, but it all comes down to the reply forms that we received and scanned. Let me check, and if you can check your emails, if you have any way to,
Yeah,
to see what we
that.
recorded. I will put it for the record. Our deadline to receive reply forms for CPC is at noon the day prior. That's when we count, we enter them into the system, and then we scan and send it to you. However, we told the public, and I want this to be on the record, I will say it a few times today, the public has a chance to send those letters, the reply forms, continue to send them. If the case is recommended for City Plan Commission, we will count all of them, including the Planning Commission reply forms. So I want the public to know that, okay, if I miss my deadline for CPC and it didn't make it into the CPC, to see the reply form, they will see it at council. City Council is going to see it anyway.
Okay, I'll check I did get the email this morning. I just haven't looked at it yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Just to make sure that we're all on the same page, I think what we're talking about here are the reply forms that are mailed in, and then separately we're talking about the emails that we've received. And at this point, I know I have only received emails in support, and all the emails I receive, either way, I always forward to Ms. Yolanda Ms. Pacina for her to forward to the Plan Commission. So there may be some other emails floating around. But as far as I know, the emails that I've received have only been on the one side of support. I don't know, there may be some ballots in opposition. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Clinton. Commissioners, number 17, off consent, held to February 15th. Number 18, off consent, we'll get you the date to where that's going to be held, yes? Please, of course.
Please, all my apologies. I found it, and I will make an explanation. So if you look into, I think, one of the 3 attachments, you will see the map. For this case, we received 17 replies in opposition and 2 replies in favor. We didn't scan the blue forms because they didn't have any comments on them. So that's why you won't see any of the blue forms scanned. But we received, and you will see in the packets is right there, and it has like an asterisk on the ones that are in opposition.
Do we know how many support letters came in by email?
The ones that were recorded, validated by us, it's 2 of them. Or by email, we're talking about the reply forms right now,
Right.
but I don't know about emails.
Does anybody know what the total email support count ended up being? There was a considerable amount. I never received anything in opposition via email or from staff.
We, just to clarify, you're asking how many emails and support we received?
Yes, does anybody know that?
Okay, I don't
I
think we
would say
keep track
this
of
is a
that.
question for the body because they don't always email staff. They have the option to reach out directly to you.
Yeah, I was saying from Yolanda, the forwarded ones.
At least 14.
At least 14?
Yeah,
I
I've
think.
got 14.
About that. Yeah, that sounds about what I received.
Okay. Any other questions, commissioners? We'll keep going. Case number 19.
Chair
Hi.
Shadid, sorry
That's-
to interrupt real quick. Did I hear you say 18 is going to be held today?
Yes,
Okay, and we don't know the date yet?
we don't have a date yet.
Okay, thank you.
Let's table number 19 for the moment and go to case number 20. Mr. Bate, good morning. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Martin Bate. This is case Z223-311. Can you all see this all right? Okay. This application is an application for an amendment to specific use permit number 2408 for a manufacturing laboratory. It is located on the north line of Taylor Street, east of South Walton Street. It is approximately 22,898 square feet in size. We see it's right here, deep in the heart of Deep Ellum. And here's an aerial map showing the location of this facility. The zoning map shows the layout of the area. As you can see, it's somewhat characteristic of this section of Deep Ellum where you have a mix of different uses, sort of hearkening back to that, the old way that Deep Ellum was way back in the day. But you have office buildings over there to the east, a variety of office, showroom, warehouse, and personal service uses to the north and northeast, surface parking immediately adjacent to the west, various office buildings to the south, and also multifamily to the southeast. So it's currently zoned Tract A within Plan Development District number 269, the Deep Ellum Near East Side District. The property is currently developed with a manufacturing laboratory. The SUP was initially approved for a 3-year period for manufacturing laboratory on January 27, 2021. The SUP expires this month on the 27th and was filed for renewal on August 1st of last year. The applicant requests the renewal for a 3-year period to continue the use of this laboratory and does not propose any changes to the existing conditions or the site plan of SUP 2408. Taking you through the little photo tour here, this is on the northeast corner of Taylor and South Walton, looking northeast at the facility itself. And then looking southwest away from the facility, there we see some of these office uses that I mentioned in the map. This is on South Walton Street, looking southeast at the facility. This is sort of the, you'd call it the back of the facility, as it were. This is on Taylor Street, looking south away from the facility. Looking north towards the facility. Looking east on Taylor Street, that's the facility over on the left. And then looking west on Taylor Street, the facility, I believe it ends there where that blue part of the wall is. This is the existing site plan. There are no changes proposed to it. Staff recommendation is approval for a 3-year period, subject to amended conditions.
Questions, Commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Housewright.
This seems like a pretty benign use. Can you explain why we're only offering 3 years and why there's no automatics? Why does this need to, what about this use means they have to come back every 3 years?
That's a good question. I went with the 3-year period as that was what the applicant had requested, and I didn't think to put in a longer use period. Certainly, I'm sure that they would be open to a lengthier period. I would have to defer to the applicant on what their business operations and plans are and whether or not they intend to be there longer term or if they may just be using the facility as it is for now. But I would have to defer to them on that. But certainly, I think it could be appropriate for.
So you'd have no objection to a longer term or an automatic, either or?
I would not, no.
Commissioner Hampton.
Mr. Bate, are you aware if the facility is currently in operation?
Is
So
it
this
currently in
their-
operation?
This is their first renewal, is that correct?
It is, yes, and it is in
And-
operation.
And it is currently in operation?
Correct.
So do you know if are you aware that they are completing some of their approvals as a part of their operations imminently?
Well, could you clarify the question, approvals in terms of, would this be certain permits and such with development or?
Not with development regarding to the manufacturing of the pharmaceuticals.
I'm not aware of any of approvals regarding that of their operations now.
Okay, I had the opportunity to visit with the applicant, and I understand that that is something that they are actively underway with. I
Interesting.
do understand that they are certainly open to a longer period. Through my conversations with them, I think they're also just beginning their production, if you will. So
Interesting.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Bate. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions? Commissioner Hall?
So is there actually synthetic chemistry going on here? Or are they just packaging things into pills and form?
I can't speak with authority on the exact nature of the operations. I do know that I believe they do packaging. The SUP conditions, as I recall them, it does allow for compounding in addition to packaging, but I'm not familiar with the intricacies of the operation.
Yeah, and I guess where my question is coming from, as someone who has a degree in chemistry, is if they're actually synthesizing stuff, that, you know, there's the potential to release chemicals and other things that might be harmful to the neighborhood environment. I'm just sort of curious if that's what's going on here, or if it's more benign packaging.
Certainly, and unfortunately, I can't speak to the specifics of that. That would be a great question, I think, for the representative or the applicant. But the way that the use is defined in the code, I think it was originally envisioned as something that would not have as much of that risk for volatile releases, as it were. But I would also imagine that some of that is regulated by other regulatory authorities regarding the manufacture of pharmaceuticals or chemicals.
Perhaps we can ask later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hampton, please.
I was just going to note that it is on consent. I do not have a degree in chemistry, so I cannot speak with the authority, but my understanding is that it is the more benign production that there is fabrication is the right word, but they are producing on site, but not to the level that required additional environmental reviews through my prior conversations with them.
To add to that, I think the first time around that we had this application, there was an extensive discussion about exactly that point. Were you aware of that?
I was not, no, but that sounds
Thank
like
you,
something
sir.
that should definitely be considered before having a manufacturing facility. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, we'll keep going.
Before we move on from that one,
Please.
is there a desire for a different time period than what staff is recommending? Because we'll have to take it off consent if there is.
My apologies, I missed the question.
Is there a desire for a different time period than what staff is recommending? We'll have to take it off consent now.
Not at this time, thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, case number 21. To Mr. Clinton.
This is case Z223316. It is an application for an R5A single-family district on property zone L01, limited office district, and MF2A multifamily district. The Oak Lawn and East Dallas demolition delay district with D overlay and under the neighborhood stabilization overlay number 6. Cochran Heights, located on the east side of Homer Street between North Garrett Avenue and North Henderson Avenue. The purpose of this request is to rezone the property to R5A to allow for the renovation of an addition to an existing single-family residence, approximately 18,000 square feet in size. Here's our location map and an aerial zoom in. This is the zoning map. Surrounding uses are multifamily, single family, and a few retail uses to the east. Located geographically North Dallas, again, currently zoned LO1 and MF2, developed as a single family residence with extended garden, garage, with storage rooms and studio apartment. A portion of, this is kind of an interesting one, but a portion of this is a corner lot and has frontage on both Homer Street and North Henderson Avenue. Again, the applicant is proposing the property be rezoned to residential, and they are requesting a general zoning change. Here we are on site on Homer Street. This is looking towards the property. We're looking down Homer Street towards the south, looking down Homer Street towards the north. Here we have surrounding uses. This is adjacent to the site. This is on North Henderson. This is also on North Henderson Avenue and Bonita Ave. Here is a brief development standards comparison. Staff is recommending approval.
Thank you, sir. Questions, commissioners? Okay, no questions on this item. Thank you, Mr. Clinton. Commissioners, we'll move on to number 22. We do have a registered speaker in opposition on this case, Commissioner, so we'll take that off the consent agenda. And that was not in the list that I read out in the beginning. So we'll add that to the list of cases coming off consent, number 22. Stay with you, Mr. Clinton.
Yes, this is case Z223321, an application for a TH3A townhouse district on property zoned community retail on the southwest corner of Ginstar Lane and Davenport Road. The purpose of the request is to rezone the property to TH3A to allow for development of townhomes, approximately 2.5 acres in size. Here's our location map. This is the aerial map. Our zoning map here with surrounding uses being single family. There's a Montessori school to this directly to the south, and other commercial plant development. Again, the site is currently zoned CR for community retail, a corner lot, so it has frontage on both Ginstar Lane and Davenport Road. Again, the applicant is requesting a general zoning change. Here we are on Ginstar Lane looking south. On Ginstar Lane looking east. Here we're on the corner of Ginstar Lane and Davenport Road looking east. Same corner looking south. Same corner looking back towards the west. Again, looking west. On Davenport Road looking north. This is the school directly to the south. Here we have surrounding uses. This is looking towards the west of the site. Single family homes to the north. Here is development standards chart. Staff is recommending approval.
Members, any questions for staff? All right. Let's move on to our next case, number 23. And Commissioner Chudid has a conflict on this case and is stepping out of the room. Mr. Kerr, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Just a moment, please. And can you see this in presentation mode?
It looks great.
Great. So this is case Z223-322. It's for a new SUP located at 1310 South Buckner Boulevard. Just a moment. It's not letting me. There we go. So this is a new SUP to allow for the sale of beer and wine for a general merchandise store less than 3,500 square feet. It's located at the northeast intersection of South Buckner Boulevard and Lake June Road within Subdistrict 2 of PD 366, the Buckner Boulevard Special Purpose District. It is located within a D1 liquor control overlay, and it's on roughly half an acre in Council District 5. So as you can see, here is the location within the Pleasant Grove area in southern Dallas. So the purpose of the request is the sale of alcohol within the general merchandise store of 3,500 square feet or less. And the request is for an approval period of 2 years with no auto renewals. So here's the aerial map showing the zoning district surrounding, and zoning map showing the uses. There's a retail center with similar uses to the north, and catty corner across Lake June Road. There is a retail with similar uses as well. Here's some site photos located on Lake June. Here's from the site looking south, on site looking north, looking southwest. And here's the site plan for site as well as an enlarged version of the site plan. And staff's recommendation is approval for the 2-year period subject to site plan and conditions.
Members, any questions on this item? Mr. Carpenter?
Yes, is this a store that has been in existence but just never sold alcohol, and that's why they're asking for an SUP now?
It's my understanding, yes, that the store has been in existence. It was built in the mid 80s, I believe, and I don't have a record of an SUP for alcohol sales prior to this.
All right, thank you.
Are you aware potentially of an SUP that was in effect, that expired and was not renewed in the past?
I'm not sure. I can ask the applicant about that.
Okay, great. And also, you went out and did a site visit, right, Mr. Kerr?
Yes, I did.
Were they selling alcohol when you went on your site visit?
There was no visible sale that I could tell on the site.
Any invisible sales that you were aware of?
No, I did not see any.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Kerr. Let's move on to case number 24. Ms. Bridges. And I think Commissioner Shadid will be stepping back into the room in just a moment, but we can go ahead and move on with case number 24.
This is case number Z223-335. This is an application for MU3 mixed use district with a D liquor control overlay on property zone LO1D limited office district with a D liquor control overlay. This is the location map. Outlined in blue is the area map, is the subject property. Surrounding the property, you have single family, multifamily, you have a public school, which is DISD. You also have a church as well. The area request is currently zoned LO1 Limited Office District with a liquor control overlay. The property is currently developed with a one-story building. It's approximately 37,000 square feet. It was built in 1978. It currently has about 20 plus tenants in there with the mixed uses such as personal service, medical clinic, and office. And the lot has frontage on Abrams Road. And the applicant proposed to develop the property with 111 multifamily units with some retail. And to accomplish this, they request a MU3 mixed-use district. The next few photos will be the area of request and surrounding properties. These are surrounding uses. Directly across the street are single-family homes. Surrounding uses, I'm looking west. That is the public school that I mentioned earlier. Surrounding uses, I'm looking east. There's single-family and multifamily. These are the development standards. Why do I need to go in detail about those? And staff recommends approval.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on this item? Commissioner Hampton.
Thank you. Ms. Bridges, just one question. I noted in your case report, page 24-4, it says the applicant is proposing to develop 111 multifamily uses with retail. I didn't see any other mention of retail within the report, or do we know how that is intended to be incorporated into the project?
As of right now, when I asked the applicant, they said they didn't know like what specific retail uses, but they did know that the retail is going to be on the bottom. But I think Mr. Rob can answer that question a little bit more than I can.
Okay, well, I know it's on consent. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding what the development intent was, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Members, additional questions?
Yes, but I want to just confirm that this is a straight zoning change, so they would be entitled to do any use that's allowed in MU3.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sleeper?
Just a question for staff, that this is a pretty significant upzoning. But I gather there has been, staff has approved it and there's been no community opposition, is that correct?
No, sir. The only emails that I received, they was making sure that they knew what the request was, such as the building of the multifamily units and the retail, but nobody reached out to me in opposition of it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One follow-up question. I see. Sorry, I'll get to y'all. And RPS does apply to this, right? If there is a residential district.
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay, great. Commissioner Hall.
So 111 units with retail, this is going to be a mid-rise apartment complex or what?
I think that's an applicant specific question, like how it's gonna look, because I didn't see like any specs on what they think it's gonna look like. They just told me it's gonna be 111 units. So what it's gonna look like, I don't know, but the applicant is here to answer that.
Yeah, to Commissioner Carpenter's point, this is a request for a general zoning change. This is not a PD where we would get some sort of development plan with a specific development proposal. This is just to consider, the standard development standards of an MU3 district, as well as the uses that are permitted within that district. Any specifics as far as site conditions, how high the building is, where the retail is going to be, that is not something that staff would have available as part of this case.
Okay. What about demolishing the current structure? Would that be done?
Yes, sir. They do plan to demolish the current structure. So they're gonna demolish that and then they're gonna build the 111 unit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Hampton.
So just one follow-up, if I may. In our reply forms, there was a reply received in opposition, but there were no comments. So staff didn't receive any indication of what the concern may have been relative to that?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And are you aware if there have been community meetings?
I spoke with Mr. Rob and he said that they were going to have one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Master.
Members, any other questions or comments? Do we want to pull this one off consent or should we keep it on? Anyone requesting to take it off consent? All right. Seeing no one asking to take it off consent, we'll move on to the next item. On number 25, I think Commissioner Treadway is going to join us momentarily. So let's swing back around to that once she gets here. I think we're also waiting on Commissioner Wheeler. So let's, we were to our under advisement cases. On number 27, Commissioner Blair, is there a need for a brief or an update on that one? Would you like it briefed? Okay. Great. Ms. Munoz? Ms. Munoz, whenever you're ready.
Good morning and Happy New Year to all. Let me get this presentation shared real quick. Are you seeing the presentation view right now?
Not yet.
No, okay. Thank you. Let me know when you see it.
It's up.
Thank you. This has been previously briefed and there are no changes to the request at the time of the printing of this report. It's an application for a CS commercial service district and with consideration of an MU1 mixed use district on property that's currently zoned an agricultural district. It's almost 52 acres located on the north line of Dowdy Ferry Road, northeast of LBJ.
Ms. Munoz?
Yes.
Let me stop you right there. I think we had thought that there were changes to this, but since there are no changes, there's no need to rebrief it. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pardon the interruption.
No problem.
Commissioner Kingston, do we need number 14 briefed or updated? 28, I'm sorry. District 14. I've number troubles.
It's not, well, we've made some changes as of yesterday, so I think we want to brief it so everybody knows.
Great. Okay, Ms. Udrea.
Thank you. I'll try to go very quick. The presentation has a lot of slides with photos. Item Z212352 is the renewal of SUP number 1898 for a late hours establishment limited to a general merchandise or food store, 3,500 square feet or less, and a motor vehicle station. It's in PD number 842, the Lower Greenville Avenue Special Provision District. It's at the southeast corner of Greenville Avenue and Richmond Avenue. It's approximately 0.38 acres. As I said, it's in East Dallas. This is the aerial. It's surrounded by retail and restaurants to the east and south, coffee shop to the west and south, coffee shop to the east, and multifamily further down the street, and a grocery store to the north. On the zoning map, there are similar SUPs across into the south. Background, this specific use permit was approved by council first time in 2011. And then in 2016, it was automatically renewed. In 2022, it was approved for only one year. The property is currently developed and they have a CO that was issued in 2016. This is the pictures, quick pictures from the site, and I will just point in the spirit of the changes that were submitted yesterday. There are an improvement, I will point to the trees that are actually in the right of way. You can see them. Larger curb cuts, but that's an existing condition. Alley in the back. Alley in the back. A view from southern portions. Alley in the back, retail, restaurants adjacent, multifamily and coffee shop adjacent. The back of the store, and then across the street on Greenville Avenue, and across on Greenville, and then the grocery store across. This is the SUP site plan. The first time we just amended it a little bit to add a table that was updated and relevant. As of yesterday, and I circulated this with all of you, it was updated to add, you can see 4 trees that are existing, but they are in the right of way. The applicant agreed to maintain them. It usually, the trees in the right of way, the maintenance falls on the applicant, but they are also shown on the site plan. They are marked on the legend. It says existing tree and tree well. I can make a suggestion to maybe update that language to say existing medium or large canopy tree to be preserved and tree well. And then again, yesterday I circulated, they also added a condition for street trees to say that they will be maintained in living conditions in accordance with Article 10, which is a change from last time. And the request is for 3 years. With this, staff recommends approval for a 3-year period subject to an amended site plan and amended conditions as briefed with the changes just mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Uda. Questions, Commissioners? Commissioner Houseright.
I just wanted to make sure I understood why this case is before us. I mean, typically we get SUPs for late hours with a bar or a restaurant. This is just simply a fact that this convenience store sits in this PD. They want to stay open late, therefore they're here.
Yes, the late hour, the SUP is for the late hours, not for the use.
Yeah,
So any type of use that wants to be later needs an SUP.
All right, thanks.
Any other questions, Commissioners? Okay, Commissioners, we will go to case number 29. Commissioners, the applicant wishes to withdraw this application, so has requested a denial without prejudice. Do we need to? Unless there are any questions, we'll keep on going on this item, Commissioners. Okay, let's go to case number 30. Mr. Pepe. Wait, Commissioner Blair actually stepped out for the moment. Are there any updates on this one at all?
There are some minor changes to the 2 plans, and I thought it was valuable to put in front of everyone.
If you don't mind, let's, I think Commissioner Blair just stepped out for a moment. Let's allow her to give a little time to come back in. So we'll go to case number 31 and let the record reflect that Vice Chair Rubin has a conflict on this item and has stepped out of the chamber. And I know that there is one update to this one, Mr. Pepe.
Yes, this is even smaller change to this one, but one nonetheless. Just as a refresher, this is 116, 223, 116 off of Buckner in the Buckner PD. That's the property. And I just wanted to skip ahead to the new site plan. Yeah, so this is site plan. Previously, if you'll recall, this is for vehicle displays, sales, it's storage and service. And the change to the site plan adds a note about a new entrance on the north side of the property from other private property that we understand to be a similar or the same owner as this one. And then they kind of note an access to Bruton Road. It's minor, but it's a note there nonetheless. But I did want to put that in front of y'all. And then no other changes to the conditions or request.
Thank you, sir. Questions, Commissioners? Okay, Mr. Pepe, we'll come back to, oh, yes, please, Commissioner Chernow.
It was Is the applicant proposing to do a mutual easement agreement on that added entrance?
That's not clear to me. I think in practice, they may do that already through their existing ownership, but that wouldn't be tied to the case. So I'm not sure of the answer to that.
When you say in practice, they use that entrance, but they don't actually have the legal document filed with the city, the mutual easement agreement?
Just an observation that it appears that way in practice, that they access it through their two lots because they either own or have deal with each of them, but didn't check for any existing mutual agreement, but I assume not. But if they formalize it, then they could use that, but it wouldn't be tied to the zoning case.
So if that other property sold and there's a mutual easement agreement in place, that agreement would stay in place. And if there wasn't an agreement in place and that property sold, then they would no longer have that egress.
Right, that's my understanding.
Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, we'll go to number 32.
One moment.
Let the record reflect that Vice Chair Rubin is back in the chamber.
Apologies on the delay there. This is case Z223256. This is an application for a specific use permit for the sale of alcoholic beverages in conjunction with a restaurant without drive-in or drive-through service on property zone community retail, CR, sub area 1 within plan development number 366, the Buckner Boulevard Special Purpose District, with a D1 overlay located on the west side of South Buckner Boulevard between North Cyane Road and Bearden Lane. The purpose of the request is to allow the sale of alcoholic beverages on site, approximately 41,000 square feet in size. Here is the location of the site, East Dallas. Here's our aerial map. Our zoning map with surrounding uses. Most of the surrounding uses are commercial retail. And this site is situated or housed in a commercial plaza. It's currently a vacant suite within a shopping center. Hours of operation would be from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Again, the request is for an SUP for the restaurant to be able to sell alcoholic beverages on site. Here we have some site visit photos. This is on South Buckner looking towards the property. And this is Suite 300. This is on property looking north, looking south. Here we have some surrounding uses. This is looking northeast. This is adjacent to the site looking east. Here is the site plan. And staff is recommending approval for a 2-year period, no auto renewal.
Questions, commissioners? Thank you very much, Mr. Clint. We'll go to number 33. Ms. Garza.
Item number 33 is KZ 223-298. The request is an application for an O1 office subdistrict with deed restrictions volunteered by the applicant on property zoned an MF2 multiple family subdistrict within Plan Development District number 193, the Oak Lawn Special Purpose District with a historic overlay district number 115. It is located on the west corner of Reagan Street and Dickinson Avenue. This is the location map. This is the aerial map. This is a zoning map. Surrounding uses around the site are single to the northwest, multifamily to the west, single family and multifamily to the south. There's surface parking to the east, and then there's restaurant without drive-in services, alcohol beverage establishment to the northeast. The area of request is currently developed with a home which has been used as a bed and breakfast. On October 8, 2002, the City Council approved the establishing of Historic Overlay District number 115, which is a Tally Polk house. It is compromised of the property in question, which allows the following use by right: a bed and breakfast. A bed and breakfast, as used in the Historic Overlay District number 115 ordinance, means a lodging use that has no more than 5 guest rooms, provides accommodations for periods not to exceed 5 nights, serves no meals other than breakfast, and is a member of or is certified by recognized bed and breakfast associations such as the National Bed and Breakfast Association or Historic and Hospitality Accommodation of Texas. The applicant is proposing to add an office use along with the current use of a bed and breakfast. Thus, they are requesting an O1 office subdistrict. Staff recommends a base of O1 subdistrict because the deed restrictions as proposed do not offer significant regulatory oversight beyond the base district. So these are some of the site photos of the site. To the southwest, and then surrounding uses on Reagan Street, looking northwest, looking southeast, looking northeast, on Dickinson Avenue, looking southeast, looking northwest, and then these are the development standards that are being changed from existing MF2 subdistrict to proposed O1 subdistrict. And then the applicant's volunteer deed restrictions. The owner does hereby impress all the properties with the following deed restrictions. The following uses are not permitted: halfway house, public or private school, business school, bank or saving and loan office. It is within the 360 plan. The site is within the Uptown community situated on the north of downtown Dallas. Uptown has become a popular destination for employers and residents seeking successful balance of jobs, housing, and services. Staff recommended is approval of the request, but as we mentioned, staff finds that the deed restrictions do not constitute what the comprehensive plan refers as zoning flexibility enough to respond to changing economic conditions, nor does it accomplish the goal of long-term land use planning. Deed restrictions, especially those that remove uses desired by an operator in the immediate term, cannot serve as a replacement for thoughtful distribution of zoning districts throughout the city, in conflict with the intended function of zoning districts altogether.
Thank you very much. Questions, commissioners? Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes, ma'am. Is the words that you just read about deed restrictions, are they tailored for this case, or is this a blanket objection to deed restrictions? Because it sounds pretty blanket.
Yeah, that this is for this case and this case alone. That's all we're considering right now.
Okay.
This is one item.
Well, but when they talk about deed restrictions, especially those that remove uses desired by an operator in the immediate term, the operator is, or the proposed operator is offering these deed restrictions, correct? So these apparently are not uses that they are wanting to do.
The applicant is proposing deed restrictions, and staff's recommendation is just for the straight office subdistrict without the deed restrictions.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Hampton.
Thank you. Ms. Garza, just one question. The H overlay remains in effect even with this general zoning change. Is that correct?
Correct.
And as it's listed in that historic ordinance, I believe it specifically notes the base zoning applies and allows the bed and breakfast use. So again, that bed and breakfast use is still an allowed use even with this change.
Correct.
Right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions, Commissioner? Thank you very much, Ms. Garza. Commissioners, we'll go back and pick up some of the cases that we table. We'll begin with number 30. Mr. Pepe, I know that there's some updates to this one.
Yes, this was certainly worth putting back in front of you guys. I just closed it. So this one is, as a refresher, Z223112. And just gonna get there. This one is an SUP for a motor vehicle fueling station, as well as an SUP for sale of alcoholic beverages. Those are necessary in the PD that they're in and in the overlay, just as a refresher. And this one was off of Elam and CF Hahn here again, but I will scoot right along to the new plans. Okay. Okay. So I have the proposed site plan, the original proposed site plan. Trying to move this along. And then the updated site plan. This site plan was not in the previous docket. It was, but we tried to get it distributed. This one has this decorative paving to present in the front of the store. So that is a change from the previous posting. And the other change from the previous posting was they propose a landscape plan now, and the landscape plan serves in lieu of meeting the base landscape requirements, whereas in the existing PUD, you're required to meet Article 10 plus a little more, including a landscape buffer. This is a remedy to that in terms of getting them out of, exempting them from the landscape buffer and other conditions. Yes, and this is still accurate from the change from the original request. And the conditions haven't changed. Staff recommendation is denial.
Questions, Commissioner Black?
Mr. Pepe, with the changes that they have made, if those changes had been submitted up front, would you still have a recommendation of denial?
The submitted up front earlier in the, I think I know what you're getting at. I mean, the answer is yes, the recommendation would still be denial. It's not necessarily about the nature of how the request has proceeded. It's kind of, there's a lot of factors playing into the denial as noted in the report, including the proximity to residential, the general site constraints. By no means do we think it's an undevelopable site, but this particular use, specific use, especially when laid out by a PD, Sapphire should be specifically suited to the site. Given both the PD requirements, they may overcome them through exemption, through landscape plan, through the report notes a previous engineering plan that was submitted that they may be able to default to, but that doesn't necessarily change how we look at it in terms of the overall. But there's all of those factors play into the recommendation, and so it is still denial for that reason.
You said something about the engineering, and I remember, if memory serves me, and I've been asleep a couple of times since then. Part of the engineering concern was the egress ingress off of the service road as well as the Elam, correct?
Yes, the Elam entrance is too close to the traffic light at Elam and CF Han, as well as the one on CF Han is too close for that, based on the standards that that engineering looks for when they approve plans. The report notes that they had previously submitted an engineering plan that was approved in 2017. So the plan is similar to that. So it doesn't necessarily, they could potentially move forward with that, maybe some minor amendments. It's unclear. We'd have to see after permitting. But it still is good land use and design principle to have those distances and everything else that plays into the request. But that's the answer on the engineering side. So those are still part of this site plan, yes.
May I ask Mr. Navarro some questions, please?
He's here, but he's going to be behind you if it's okay.
He's here.
Good morning, commissioners. I'm right behind you, if you allow me. Good morning.
Okay, so Mr. Navarez, the entry points on Elam and the service road, before the concern was that they were too close to the corners, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's a correct statement.
Has the applicant made any alterations to the entry point, or are there any changes that has occurred that from your recommendation from previous reporting?
The applicant is no longer pursuing an access directly from Elam Road. That's one change that is coming to you this morning.
So there's no more access on Elam, just on the service road?
That is my understanding from the plan we're looking at right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Housewright, please.
I believe I recall in the previous meetings when we looked at this that they were deficient on their parking count. Is that still the case?
This plan has them down one. I think that they may hope to shrink their building a little bit to make it work. It's not so much the area on the site, it's the area that they have to share with the gas station canopy and the drive aisles that go around that. But I think that their solution is going to be to cut their building 100 or 200 feet.
Okay.
200.
But as depicted on the plan in front of us, they're short one space on their parking count.
This one, yes.
Okay. And then back to the previous question that Mr. Navarez was answering. I still see a curb cut on Elam on this plan, but I could be mistaken, I suppose.
If I may, they had a late breaking plan come through after the docket, and I did not get that distributed, and I apologize for that. The change that they, and I can have it distributed still, but the change that the only ones that I can find on that late breaking plan were they close off the access on Elam on that plan, and they reduce the parking, or they reduce the size of the building by 200 to meet their park. So I can get that distributed, but it came in late and it's been a week, so I did miss that. I apologize. But those are the two changes on that.
But one additional question. I just want to confirm with Mr. Navarez. My understanding is that, okay, let's say we've closed Elam, that the curb cut onto the service road of Highway 175 still does not conform to spacing requirements off the intersection. Is that correct?
May I ask, is this a PD or an SUP? And I should know the answer, but please.
It's an SUP in a PD.
Okay. If the PD conditions will state at the very bottom of it that no portions of the development plan may contradict or be in conflict with city standards. And so in that case, if there is a conflict, such as a driveway located where it's not supposed to be, then staff would not be able to approve, even if it's approved by council, a development plan that, unless the PD in writing explicitly states that for purposes of this district, the driveway design standards do not apply. As it stands today, staff would not be able to administratively be able to approve any driveway on, it's a small site. And we've been working with the applicant for a long time. They haven't, as far as I know, there hasn't been a communication with TxDOT. So that's a third layer. Let's just say that, and forget city standards. I mean, if you picture yourself, the one vehicle attempting to exit out and going out east on Elam Road, picture yourself, not yourself, but the other vehicle exiting onto the service road and then turning left so that they can very quickly just out on it's. I know it's minor, but it becomes a real issue. I don't think that we would be able to support that with TxDOT, and TxDOT would have a strong opinion about.
But so what you're confirming is that neither of those proposed curb cuts conform to city standard.
That is correct, sir. And so what we advised the applicant was to proceed with the request from a land use perspective, that we would work with them at permitting to figure, should the commission move forward with a recommendation of approval, that we would work with them, continue working with them to identify the right location for that one driveway, to discourage that left turn out of the driveway, and then at one point continue those conversations with TxDOT.
Commissioner Rubin.
Just a follow-up question. I want to make sure I understand what you said. The new plan came in late and it's been a week. You're referring to your week being hectic, not that you've had the plan for a week and didn't send it, right?
Yes, thank you. Yes,
Okay.
that's a good clarification.
Okay, great.
I'll get it out. I sit back down, but
When did it come in?
after the docket would be the end.
Docket came in.
I'll find the date, the time for you.
And we last had this case up at the Plan Commission early November, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, thank you, Mr. Pepe. Commissioners, we'll move on to our code amendment. We'll come back and pick up the D7 and the 1D11 case in a bit. Ms. Singleton. Good morning.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning. We were shuffling chairs and making sure I knew what I was doing. DCA 189-001 KS. The proposal is a consideration of amending Chapter 51A of the Dallas Development Code, subsection I, certificates of demolition for a residential structure with no more than 3,000 square feet of floor area pursuant to a court order within Section 51A 4.501 Historic Overlay District and related sections, with the consideration to be given to remove this subsection and other appropriate standards. So this was adopted, the background and history, June 23rd, 2010. This subsection was adopted for certificates of demolition for a residential structure with no more than 3,000 square feet of floor area pursuant to a court order. In October 4th, 2018, CPC initiated an amendment to this section. And then in August 14, 2019, the City Council unanimously passed a resolution instructing the city manager not to spend any city funds or resources demolishing structures within the 10th Street District unless the Dallas Fire Marshal found that the structure was hazardous to life, property, and presented a clear and present danger in accordance with the Dallas Fire Code and Development Code. On September 5th, 2023, the Landmark Commission requested that CPC rescind subsection I of section 51A 4.501. Current regulations in subsection I within chapter 51A 4.501 was developed to address substandard and nuisance structures. The subsection ordered demolition of homes and buildings under 3,000 square feet pursuant to a court order. The subsection states that Landmark Commission must grant demolition. The commission does not have the opportunity to explore other options, which may take longer than the suspension period allows. In the suspension periods, there are technically two suspension periods. The first one is for from one Landmark Commission to the next, so that's 30 to 35 days. The second one is a 60-day suspension period, so that's about 90 to 100 days in a suspension period. There's no opportunity to address the historic significance or the integrity of the building or conduct a condition assessment of the property. The impact of the regulations. Please note that these regulations actually impact about 90% of the houses in the 21 historic districts that are 3,000 square feet or less. And from 2010 to 2019, when the other suspension occurred, the 10th Street Historic District alone lost at least 30 homes to the subsection under the code. Of those 30, 17 were contributing to the 10th Street Historic District. So the map on the right shows that the contributing structures that have been torn down and some of the non-contributing structures. This is one of the success stories when the Landmark Commission, I don't want to say goes rogue, but pushes to see if they can get a building rehabilitated. And this was one that was taken over and was rehabilitated. The proposed action and impact is to remove subsection I in section 51A-4.501 and allow the Landmark Commission to utilize other sections of the code to address nuisance or unsafe properties. There are actually within the enabling historic district overlay 3 different sections that address demolition of hazardous and substandard housing. This would allow the Landmark Commission staff and preservation partners, neighborhood advocates to work together towards better outcomes. The staff rationale is the current code is inconsistent with the purpose of preservation and best preservation practices. Abating nuisances by demolition is incongruous with preservation of historic properties and neighborhoods. There's no opportunity, again, to address the historic significance and integrity or conduct a condition assessment. And it encourages demolition of houses that could be rehabilitated. And I will say, I will add to this that once you start demolishing in a neighborhood, the only thing that happens is more demolitions. Other sections of the code address substandard or unsafe practices. The fire marshal and the building official can also mitigate by if it's a hazardous situation. The subsection states that the Landmark Commission must grant demolition. The commission does not have the opportunity to explore other options because there's literally not enough time to do so. It impacts our low-income historic districts much more than any of the other ones. Again, we've lost 30 houses in 10th Street and 5 in Wheatley Place. And Wheatley is a very stable neighborhood, so that has been very concerning there too. The loss of historic fabric is important in these diverse historic districts, and we cannot get them back. And we also are losing low to moderate income housing from these neighborhoods. Staff recommendation is approval.
Thank you very much, Ms. Singleton. Questions, Mr. Rubin?
Yeah, just a few questions. I'm not saying that everything has to go through the normal procedure every time, but there is a request to bypass ZOAC here. What's staff's rationale for doing that?
We had a discussion about this with the senior planning staff and with the Landmark Commission, and it was felt that since the Landmark Commission thoroughly vetted this and thoroughly discussed it, that they felt that it was appropriate to go from Landmark Commission to CPC.
And one other question. We talk about court-ordered demolitions under this provision.
Yes.
Could a private citizen go into court and get an order to demolish? Who would be the one going into court?
Most of them have been the city attorney, but we have had individuals who have come in and done court-ordered demolitions. And I will note again that there are other provisions in this code that allows, if it's substandard or there's been a fire or it's a health and safety issue, then it can be torn down.
And it's the individuals that own the property that come in to get the court order?
Yes.
Right. But the majority are the city attorney, the city itself coming in.
Yes.
And there seems to be this tension where maybe the left hand of the city wasn't talking to the right hand of the city when these things were being considered in some of our lower income historic districts. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Housewright. Commissioner Carpenter.
I just wanted to pursue that question a little bit further. So let's say that a court order is put in place to demolish the house. How would this change that we're contemplating today play out? It would just simply mean we've got more time, or would it just mean that you couldn't get a court order? Help me understand.
No, you could still get a court order and it would become an item on the Landmark Commission agenda. And then the property would be assessed as to if it was, say, someone brought a court order because the house was in very bad condition and there had been fires in it or whatever, then if it was bad enough, the fire marshal can go ahead and approve it right away. The building official does have a process by which they can do it. And then the third one is if it is in bad shape and an individual comes in with court order, they would go through the regular demolition process with the Landmark Commission. And the Landmark Commission could approve it because it was considered substandard or in very bad condition.
Okay. And then another question piggybacking on Commissioner Rubin. We could, if we wish, make a motion to run this through ZOAC and still delete this language, but run it through ZOAC first. We could make that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes, my understanding is this process started with, the process to remove this ordinance started with a CPC memo back in 2018. Why is it just now coming to us in January of 2024?
I would say staff turnover in the commission, in the Historic Preservation Division. And I think it just, and I will tell you this, I was here when this was first initiated back in 2008, 2009, and we as staff, the preservation community and the Landmark Commission did not want this subsection in the ordinance. And so I will tell you that everyone in the preservation community and the Landmark Commission is really happy that this is finally coming forward. And we've heard from 10th Street and several other people who are glad that we are finally making this happen.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Hampton.
Thank you. Just one follow-up question on this question of timing. I think we heard that CPC had a memo in 2018. I know in the case of 10th Street specifically, there had been a number of demolitions that had taken place. I believe it was in 2019. It was on the National Register's Most Endangered Places. It was then followed by the city action in 2019 that removed the public funds. But this has been essentially an ongoing discussion point at Landmark Commission since 2018, 2019, probably even before that today. So we've had 5 years, either through cases or through consideration by that body on the language, the impact of it, and what might be the appropriate course. Is that fair to say?
I would say it would even go back to about 2011, right after this was implemented, when the Landmark Commission started to see the demolition requests come in, the court order. They were very concerned then.
And so when Landmark considered this last fall and asked for it to be brought forward on the agenda, they asked for an expedited review by this body, really recognizing that kind of that homework that you would see coming out of ZOAC has been part of the ongoing public debate regarding this.
Yes, and I believe also that because of the 2019 action by City Council to request that funds not be used for court-ordered demolitions, I think they felt that Council was sending them the message that it's time to rescind this and remove it from the subsection.
Okay, and I think I heard very clearly, but just wanted to maybe restate, the process for demolition is still there.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Again, not that I think that's anyone's preferred outcome, clearly in a historic district, but again, that process still exists, and removing this language doesn't remove that discussion point.
Right, right. There's still opportunity if it's needed to demolish.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions, Commissioners, on this item? Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Singleton. Commissioners, we'll move on to our authorization of hearing. And just a peek ahead, we'll try to pick up the cases in District 7 and 11, hopefully before lunch. We are going to have a working lunch today, Commissioners, where we will do our update to Forward Dallas. And the annual report, Commissioners, we're going to punt on that one until our next hearing, where we will have the report and a couple of mission statements for us to vote on. And with that, we are ready for authorized hearing. Good morning, gentlemen.
And we are giving consideration to the use development standard and other appropriate regulation. The area of request is approximately 14 acres, and the authorized hearing is being implemented. The authorized hearing is being implemented as part of the implementation of the West Oak Cliff area plan. So here's the location map and the vicinity map, and the general description of the area of request. Here are the aerials of the area. The one on the top are of the aerials taken, photos taken on Edgefield looking north, and on the bottom looking south. These are additional photos taken on Ferndale Avenue, which is one of the streets in the area. And then the photos taken of major intersections in the area of request. So just to give you some background information about this authorized hearing, the primary impetus was to implement West Oak Cliff area plan, which was adopted unanimously by the council in 2022. and it provides the revitalization and development vision for the area of request. That plan did identify several focus areas and provided land use and zoning recommendations for some of those areas, of which the area of request is one of them. We do have about 5 authorized hearing in this area, and this is the first one that is coming to you. We're going to be having additional authorized hearing coming to this body. This is a description of the revitalization and development vision for the area. It gives specific recommendation for land use and zoning, and calls out form district for the area. It also kind of specifies the maximum building heights and the type of uses that the community vision recommends for the area. Again, WOCUP is meant to encourage the redevelopment of this area as a walkable mixed-use district. There are some specific things that were called out in the plan, and they did recommend that we look into them when we are doing the rezoning. So one of those things was to look at amending the current zoning CR to permit restaurants to sell alcohol near schools and churches by SUP, and this was meant to encourage attraction of these uses into the area. It also talked about parking in general and how we can look at reduction of parking in the district. So those are some of the additional things that we did look at, which typically are not part of the authorized hearing, but because we were implementing an area plan, we did take a look at those. Here is an aerial of the land use in the area. Although the district is surrounded by single-family residential use, you can see there are a number of uses that are bordering the district, ranging from residential, commercial, open space, and civic institutions. The map to the right is the zoning map for the area. It does have a single zoning districts, community retail. I do have here a table and a chart that kind of summarizes the land uses in the area, and it gives you a summary of what do exist within the area of request. Like I said, it does have a single zoning district, community retail, and it's currently developed mostly with community serving retail and personal services. There are some institutional uses and also a neighborhood park in the area. So what staff is proposing for this area is a form district, walkable urban mixed-use district 3. And we did pick that because it's the lowest intensity of the 6 walkable mixed-use districts in the form district. Area also, that type of zoning district would be compatible with the surrounding residential uses, and it does align with WOCUP's goal of transforming the area into a neighborhood scale mixed-use center that is pedestrian friendly. So typically a form district has both development types and uses that are allowed in the district. They are listed here on this sheet. I'm not going to go through them, but it kind of identifies the development types that are allowed in the district and the principal uses that would be allowed if this were to be implemented. This table kind of gives a little bit more details on those principal uses that are allowed. So it gives a breakdown of the use categories that would be allowed in the district under WMU3. And this table kind of summarizes the development time and gives a comparison between the existing community retail district versus what we are proposing, which is the WMU3. And just kind of to give a highlight on the development standards, we are recommending a WMU3, which is walkable urban mixed-use district. It has a height restriction of 50 feet. If you look at the WOCUP recommended vision for this area, it calls that the building heights be limited to what is currently allowed under the existing zoning, which is 54 feet. So that was the closest mixed-use urban district that we did find most appropriate for the area. And then, like I said, we are implementing this as part of the community vision for revitalizing the area. WOCAP specifically said that during the rezoning, we should consider infrastructure enhancement. And so a part of this exercise has been has involved looking at infrastructure improvement in the area. And we did partner with the transportation department to take a look at potential improvement that we could make in the public realm. So we have been working with a team of staff on a number of things, and we did look at the area and the significant amount of land that is designated as public right of way that is available for improvement. So the next page gives you a visual kind of a plan, a conceptual plan of some of the infrastructure enhancement that we've considered as part of that exercise. So we did look at parking in general because the community pointed out that that was critical for them. And we made our analysis and found out that if we do implement the FORM district, walkable urban mixed use district 3, the area will realize significant parking reduction. We did a preliminary analysis looking at the existing uses, and we did find that there would be a significant amount of parking reduction that would be realized if we did implement this. And then also in the long term, we are looking at calming measures that would be implemented as part of the infrastructure enhancement, sidewalk enhancement, alley activation to be to allow the business to access parking in the back, and then improvement of alleys in general. So another thing that was pointed out in the walk-up plan was to take a look at how we can activate the streets here. And so staff is recommending a shopfront overlay that would create an active shopping district. And we are recommending that for 2 major streets in the district, that is South Edgefield and Ferndale, and the map on the screen shows where those are located. This kind of just gives you a general overview of what would be the ideal situation if this were implemented, the shopfront overlay. It would have active uses that would make the streets more vibrant for retail and commercial activity. And then the other thing also that was pointed out in the walk-up plan was for staff to look at amending the CR zoning to permit restaurants to sell alcohol near schools. So part of the recommendations that we are making is that we do keep the alcohol sales separation distance in place. We did do a preliminary analysis to look at the areas that would be affected if you were to implement it. And you can see that it doesn't affect the entire district. The area that is highlighted in purple is what would be impacted if we were to implement this. And we are recommending that businesses that are located in those shaded areas consider going for a variance if they want to sell alcohol. Otherwise, I think the main primary streets would still be able to sell alcohol. They won't be impacted by the alcohol separation distance. And then we do have residential proximity slope that would be applicable in this area to protect the adjacent residential area. There is an existing RPS of 3:1 that would restrict the height of building here to go not more than 50 feet as is recommended by the staff. So in general, we are proposing a FORM district, walkable urban mixed use district 3, because it aligns with walk-up. We are also recommending that the maximum height building be reduced from 54 feet that is currently allowed under CR, community retail zoning, to 50 feet. We are also recommending that the existing RPS of 3:1 be retained. And also we are recommending a shopfront overlay in 2 of the major streets in the district. And the staff recommendation is approval of a walkable mixed use Walkable Urban Mixed Use District 3 with a shopfront overlay on a portion of the district.
Thank you, sir. Questions, commissioners? Commissioner Carpenter.
Yes, I have some questions about the gap between what is achievable in a straight zoning change and what the WOCAP recommendations were. Specifically, the WOCAP recommendation was that the area wanted to limit multifamily to 12 units or less and to townhomes. What kind of restrictions on multifamily, or what housing options are there by right? I mean, is it going to get anywhere close to what the community was asking?
Yes, so if you look at the development types, it would allow townhomes, which is what the community wanted, and it would also allow multifamily building. But because of the height restriction, those buildings maybe might not go as high or more than 3 stories. So you'd still be able to get some multifamily, small-scale multifamily building, but not necessarily the high-rise or anything beyond 12 units.
But a 3-story multi-family building could still hold considerably more than 12 units.
So there is no specific number of units that is restricted. They just wanted them to be kind of limited in scale. The way the lots are, they are not large enough to accommodate, several units unless they go and acquire properties and replat them. So I think the zoning recommendation that staff is making is in alignment with the WOCAP vision for the area in terms of multifamily units. I think the RPS also plays a role. They are, for you to go up to 3 stories, you really have to be at the center of the district. Most of them want to be able to go beyond 2 stories.
And where they also expressed a desire to enable businesses selling alcohol to not be affected by the 300-foot separation. I know, and when I read the report, it initially struck me that it was just a small portion of the eastern part of this area that was affected. But when I went further into the report, it looks like that's a pretty significant portion, about half, something like that. And asking people to go to a variance process just seems like another barrier. Granted, an SUP can be a barrier also, but it does give the neighbors an option to potentially put an end to bad operators. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
So when you look at the map, I think the area that is affected are not really the major streets. And our argument was that typically, if you are about a restaurant, you want to be located in an area that is more prominent, more accessible. So ideally, we don't expect a lot of these bars to want to locate in those areas.
Well, it looked
They
to me
would
that,
go for the primary street. But I think the main reason why we did recommend what we did was because alcohol sale is not necessarily a zoning issue. It's more of a BAE issue. So I think probably they need to pursue a different avenue than an authorized hearing process. We also did realize that that was going to delay the process because there was a lot of groups, interest groups that were not keen on seeing alcohol being sold next to a church or a school, and they would be in opposition. So to kind of strike a balance in gaining support for the zoning change, we did settle for a middle ground. But the primary reason was that that is not necessarily a zoning or an authorized issue.
But Fernwood and Edgefield were the streets that are designated as shopfront overlay. So those presumably would be the streets that type of business would gravitate toward, or?
Yeah, those type of business would probably gravitate towards Edgefield, which is the primary street where a lot of the infrastructure and amenities exist to support those type of uses.
Okay, may I continue, Chair? Okay, I'm sorry, I have a lot of questions. Another thing that I discerned in what the WOCAP neighbors were wanting was a way to incentivize preservation of legacy structures through, provisions that we've written into other PDs, that if you have a legacy structure, you're not required to have zoning. And I followed the parking argument that you have here, but does this straight zoning change incentivize retention of legacy buildings any other way? Is there another avenue to get there?
It does, because just, by doing the zoning change to a form district, most of the structures would realize reduction in parking requirements. Also, I also think also that a lot of the buildings that exist in the district were built just about the same time, between the 30s and 50s. And so if we talk about legacy building, the definition would be kind of tricky, because most of the buildings fit the same definition. They almost look alike. They were built around the same time. And that would basically mean that you are creating that provision for almost all of them. But I think the main reason why we didn't go that route was because we are currently considering a parking code amendment that would look at, either reducing or eliminating parking completely in districts like this. And I think we've been, part of the exercise that we are doing with the other planners to look at the infrastructure enhancement and parking in the area. We did have the parking planner that is overseeing that code amendment and recommendation development. And he was kind of guiding us and showing us that maybe, we don't need to consider this because the district overall has excess parking. There are a lot of uses there that are overparked, and they hardly ever use those parking, and the conditions are not really ideal. So, I think overall, there's opportunities for any business that's looking for additional parking to access those parking not very far from the location of their property. So maybe the next door neighbor has excess parking, they can do a parking agreement with them. So a lot of the business there are way underparked. And you can even see that when you look at those private parking that are inside the property.
Thank you. I have a question about shopfront overlays. There was a statement that said the shopfront overlay does not have to follow the lot lines or the parcel bounds. How does that work? How do you know where the boundaries of a shopfront overlay are?
So a shopfront overlay is only applicable 30 feet from the front facade of the building of the structure. So, if you have a particular building, that provision, that overlay is only applicable 30 feet inward from the front facade of the structure. So that is where those restrictions would apply. Whatever you do beyond that is not applicable to the shopfront overlay.
And I saw in the description of the community meeting, I believe the final community meeting, that took a vote of people present, and I don't remember the exact number, maybe 36 to 17. Can you summarize what the main points were of the people in opposition?
So when we went to this meeting, we were kind of, that's when we were actually proposing, the zoning recommendation from staff, what we were going to recommend. And we had anticipated that there's going to be another meeting, a follow-up meeting after that. The meeting was attended by, I think, about 60-something, 64 people. The room was full. And after the presentation, we did say that we're going to have another meeting. And I think a couple of people did oppose that we should just take this because it's taken too long to the CPC. And it wasn't staff that recommended. One of the attendees did recommend that let's take a vote. And by a majority of 34 by 17, most of them were in agreement that this should be advanced to the CPC.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Commissioner Cerna.
I've got some questions pertaining to existing building protections, in particular the vehicle services. On page 16 of your report, there's a permitted uses chart. Could you bring that up again?
The use cap, which one?
No, it's page 16. It's earlier. It's 4 pages earlier. There you go. So Under the where did this chart come from? It looks like it's a screenshot with some drop-down boxes. Is that chapter 51A or?
That's a summary of 51A. Yes, WMU3 is a use chart. Basically, just staff summary of the chart that I was showing. So because we couldn't fit this in one page, you kind of summarize this.
Okay.
On that. And it kind of gives down the breakdown of what specific use would exist under the principal uses.
Right. And then if you go to the shop front overlay, or excuse me, on page 21, there's on shop front overlay, there's a hyperlink into the chart of the Article 13. And it's 51A-13304. So that hyperlink right there. Do you have the ability to hyperlink out of that? Or probably not, right?
I don't.
Well, it takes you to the development types in Article 13.
This?
Well, you don't have it in your report, but you have the hyperlink to it in your report.
Yes.
Right. So it takes you to the development types. And in there on shopfront overlay, that chart has boxes that are checked on what's allowed and what's not allowed. And under shopfront overlay, it says mixed use shopfront allowed, single story shopfront allowed, and then you get the general commercial not allowed. I just want to confirm that the vehicle services are allowed in the shopfront overlay?
It is. It is. Like I said, the shopfront overlay is only applicable 30 feet from the front facade of the building. And so typically what would happen, what is intended to do is that you'd have your waiting room and the front office in the front within those 30 feet. And then whatever happens behind there has to be allowed as one of the use that is allowed there. So if you look at the use chart, vehicle service and vehicle sale is allowed.
Right.
So that would happen in the back.
I got you. And so then what happens to how does it work for a property owner or a business owner who changes ownership or does a renovation, and are they grandfathered in? Is there potential for them to lose their use, in particular in the vehicle ownership or the vehicle services?
Not really. If this is adopted, most of the structures are going to be non-conforming, legally non-conforming from a development time standpoint. Because the standard development standard for home districts are very high, and if you know the structures, most of them won't really conform. And so what happens is that when that structure is torn down, or if you're building a new building, then the new standard would apply. But for the existing structures, even if they sell the property, and I'm not really the one to make that determination, that will be a BEI thing. But I think they should be able to continue operating as legally non-conforming structure.
And I had one last question for Mr. Rains.
Sure.
Can you explain what the process is? Should this be approved, this plan? What's the process on the public infrastructure from there to get it implemented?
Thank you. We worked with transportation about this, and I think that's a good question as far as the process and how to get this on their wheel set. They've already set aside some money, I believe, from what I understand, to get things started. Especially at the intersection of Edgefield and Ferndale as the beginning. But what we did that was important is we want to make sure that the infrastructure leverages this type of development pattern. We limited the driveway accesses to around 24 feet wide, not 60, 80. We want to make sure that the walkability component works well too. So there is a process. It may take a little while, but I do think that it's in place. We've had great support with Transportation Department about this. Just simply getting the stop sign, things like that intersection too. But one thing that we learned, and it's been a real honor to work with Steph here, is that we learned early on that there's different characteristics of parking. If you park at a coffee shop, you're there for maybe an hour. If you drop off your car to get worked on, your car may sit for days. So we try to compartmentalize the parking. You see in red on this map here, there's a specific type of service parking that's, we don't want cars to park halfway on the street and halfway not. What we realized that there was a obligation in this plan. If you look earlier in the map, 50% of the land was public right of way. I don't think of any district in Dallas had that much public right of way because there was about 50% of that 14 acres.
Yes.
So it was all utilized incorrectly. It wasn't leveraged in such a way. So there's a compartmentalized type of service parking in red, and then the orange is more like the storefront type parking, which is the pull in, go for an hour and leave. And so we thought that was important to create, I guess you might say, good fences, create good neighbors, create such a type of system to where you have a certain type of expectation. If you go to get your car serviced, no problem. You can go in off the street, but you can also go in off the alleys because we want to make sure that we improve the alleys to work for those businesses. Kind of like how Knox Street works today. You can't go to Knox Street without driving on an alley to get to a parking behind it. So it's interesting how all these type of things helped us to compartmentalize the service industry versus the storefront. I shouldn't say versus. It actually, the way our goal was is to create such a great pattern that it be highly walkable, highly safe, and you kind of know your boundaries.
And just to add on what he said, I did sit on a meeting last week where Transportation Department was briefing the council member, and they did say that they're going to be issuing an RFP for the actual design. What we did was a conceptual. It's going to form the basis for that. But they're going to be doing an RFP for actual design that is going to encompass other areas in the city.
Does that answer your question?
No. Commissioner Hampton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry, I had my microphone a little lodged in there. I wanted to follow up on some of the questions about streetscape and how the shopfront overlay is going to work. As I understand it, once you put the shopfront overlay, that leads to its designation as a primary street. Could you speak? I mean, I think, and what I'm trying to understand is the goal is walkability. That's been a strong, comment that I've heard coming out of the discussion. So how is that going to be implemented when you've got an existing, essentially street configuration layout, existing buildings that are trying to accommodate new development? How do you envision that being implemented? And what is in the base code on what's going to be expected?
So I think the whole idea is to ensure that we are encouraging or attracting active uses, non-residential uses on the streets that are designated with the overlay, and ensure that the type of businesses that are located there, the design from a development standpoint encourages that kind of walkability. If you complement that with the infrastructure enhancement, sidewalk, that are wider, lighting and everything, then it makes a lot of sense.
And I want to follow up on that a little bit. And I think I heard and clearly there's existing businesses. I know in many of the authorized hearings I've been involved with, there's always a strong sense of maintaining those existing businesses while allowing for growth and new development to come in and a transition. But I'm going to take the example of parking. And I think if I understand it correctly, the shopfront overlay will require those active uses on the first 30 feet. So that then pushes any parking behind that first 30 feet. And is that triggered with redevelopment? Is that the trigger for that?
So that would be the structure, the actual building. The 30 feet would apply to the actual building, not the parking. Part of the infrastructure enhancement is to activate the alley so that they can access any parking spaces that are in the back of the building. That is currently not happening. They do have spaces that could be used for service parking in the back, but they're not able to utilize those because they're not accessible. The alleys are not active and they're not open. So what we want to do is to ensure that those are activated so that they can access the parking, the space that is in the back of the building. The shorefront overlay applies to the building 30 feet from the front of the building inward. So the first 30 feet inward inside the building is where the shorefront overlay do apply, but they don't apply to the building line or necessarily the property line.
And I may have a follow-up on that because I know specifically in the WR districts, parking is prohibited in the first 30 feet. I think it also applies to WMU, but I haven't read that recently to have that top of mind, so I'll follow up on that. And then I heard you mention in your presentation, it was one thing I was trying to understand. So RPS is built in, RPS will still apply. There's also built into form-based code or RTN, residential transition. It's essentially an overlay similar to a shop front. Was there any consideration of that being appropriate? It's specifically mentioned in the context of MU districts. I was just wondering if that was evaluated.
So we did have clear boundaries on where the authorized hearing area was, and all that was commercial. There are a few, residential building that exists within the commercial district. So we didn't want to extend it to the residential neighborhood, make any changes, just because of the active engagement and interaction that had happened, when they were developing the area plan. We wanted to protect and keep residential neighborhoods as they are. But if you look at them, most of them are single family residential homes, and they're fairly compact. We developed, they're very close to each other. There's not a lot of open space. So there was no need. They're walkable. Most of them do have sidewalks. So there was no need for us to look at, walkable residential as a buffer.
Okay. And then to follow up on Commissioner Carpenter's question about legacy buildings, as a straight zoning change, there's no existing language in form-based code that speaks to that. Is there any ability to craft something that would recognize that legacy building structure? I'm not aware of it. I'm wondering if staff has started to think about any opportunities there might be.
So I think the issue, one of the things that I read in the form district is that if you do have Delta credits and you apply for parking reduction, you lose those Delta credits. Some of the legacy buildings that exist in the area do have those Delta credits. And when we mentioned that to them, they became very hesitant on pursuing alternative routes to achieve those parking reduction. So they prefer what they have. And like I said, most of them have adequate parking. It's the type of use that would go into those structures that might make it a challenge for them to meet the parking requirements within the property boundaries. But if that were to happen, there's plenty of parking that exists within close proximity within the district itself.
Okay. And I may have some follow-up questions on that, but one final question, if I may. I know on other cases where we've had form-based districts as the base, there are affordable housing provisions built in. I've understood that they really don't work the way they were intended to. Was that anything that staff had either evaluated or that the community had expressed in a desire to try to encourage, affordable housing and mixed housing as they're looking ahead to a future transition in the district?
So one of the things that we mentioned in the report, the case report, was that density bonus would be considered for mixed income housing development in the area. That is a possibility that we put there intentionally for supporting or encouraging affordable housing. The plan actually calls for that. Workup plan calls for consideration of mixed income housing density bonus. Also, the WMU3 districts allow for residential development. So if there's some kind of arrangement that you can work with the property owners to realize affordable housing in the district, the zoning does allow that. Either as townhomes or stack houses.
So you're thinking of it by introducing it as walkable mixed use, it adds the residential component, which then as it could be developed is how it would bring in that mixed income component.
Yes.
Okay.
But also, I have to mention something that we really tried not to do a PD in this area. That's a request that we got from different departments. Transportation said it would be a nightmare, just kind of trying to amend the thoroughfare plan. That would require a whole different process. Also, it would make it difficult for the property owners that want to make change because they would have to amend the PD. So one of the objectives that we were working with as we were making this recommendation is to try to go with the straight-based zoning without necessarily adding additional provision like for affordable housing that would turn this into a PD.
Understood. And again, I know there's language there. It's just one I've learned, unfortunately, through the years that doesn't work the way I think it was intended to. So just wanted to understand how that was being evaluated. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions, Commissioners? Will we go to Commissioner Carpenter for second round? Commissioner Carpenter.
Back to the issue of non-conforming uses. I know the chart says that there are 4 other businesses that didn't fall into any of the categories or businesses that didn't have COs. Did you get any feeling for how many businesses are going to be made non-conforming by use with the adoption of this new form district?
I'm not aware of any business that would be non-conforming as of use. I'm aware of the structures, the buildings that would be non-conforming. The single-family residential housing is not allowed in the district, and we do have a couple of those in the area. But other than that, most of the uses that are so in the area would still be allowed.
Okay, car washes and auto service centers and commercial amusements inside. And
Yes, they would be used. The building services make the determination as of use. But as far as we know, there is no use that I can think of that would be
okay,
not permitted.
Yeah, it was noted that there were some businesses that didn't have COs. So if you never got a CO and you're doing a use that's not allowed, you're not grandfathered.
Yes, we were going by what is allowed, what is permitted in the district.
Okay, moving on just to the WMU3, the way that code is written. It seems like, it's not that I'm objecting to the base zoning. WMU3 seems as close as anything's going to get. But the way the code is written is that this is supposed to be embedded in a larger area that's intended to be, 25 to 40 acres of similar density. And it seemed like it was a bit of a stretch to justify the surrounding single-family neighborhoods that had some schools or different things to meet that standard. Is this a problem with the way that the WMU3 is written? I'll just move on to the kind of a related question also. The report does point out that, this doesn't have the best transit proximity. You've got a DART line 3 blocks south on Illinois and then several blocks to the east on Vernon. Does WMU3 require or suggest that, good transit proximity is available?
It doesn't require it. It would support, it would recommend, it would be nice to have it, but it doesn't require transit to be available. It does want the district to be walkable and safe, but it doesn't require access to public transit. At least I didn't see that. It encourages it, but it doesn't require it.
But is it a problem? Because the code seems to say that this, any new area that becomes walkable mixed use should be kind of surrounded by other areas that are already that type of development or are intending to be. And the way I look at the area, the surrounding area is largely, single family residential. So there seems to be a bit of a disconnect there.
The single family residential, that's how it was originally developed as a subdivision. But we do have a lot of businesses that are operating. They are like commercial uses that exist within those single family residential, especially at the intersection. When you walk around, when you drive the neighborhood, you see a number of those in the area. And it was developed as a major subdivision that was more than 50 acres with over 3,000 homes. But if you drive around, the neighborhood has changed over time, and you do have these non-residential uses. I think this body considered one of it was a single family that was converted to multi-family use, and they were considering housing veterans not very far from here. So you have those type of uses where it was a single family home and it has been modified and now it's multifamily, or you have a single family home that has been converted to non-residential use. We do have a number of those in the area.
And my last question has to do with the requirements in the form-based zoning that have to do with remodeling or enlarging your structure. It seems like the only criterion here is if you enlarge your floor area by more than 35%, then you have to comply with the current standards. Is that correct?
Not all the current standard. I think the
Or
height. Yeah, the height. So it has to be significant improvement, and that significant improvement is considered either addition, reconstruction, or that would impact, that would affect up to 35% of the floor area.
Mhm.
So I think that kind of allows the existing uses still continue operating unless there's a major improvement on the structure. Then they would be required now to comply with the building standard, the height specifically. And a lot of them probably, would, if you go to the building type route, most of them would not comply.
All right, thank you very
They would
much.
be non-conforming.
Commissioner Rubin. Just one quick follow-up question. I know the legislature enacted a bill last session requiring notifications to go out if we are making any uses non-conforming with the zoning change. I know it's a pretty recent change in a legislative requirement. Just wanted to confirm that that analysis was done here.
I think the notification, and Daniel, you can help us with this, would be if the use is not able to operate anymore.
Okay.
And we did do an analysis and we found out that a lot, as I said, all the permitted, the ones that have CEO are able to continue operating. They might be legally non-conforming, but they can still operate.
Okay, great. Thank you. Members, any other questions on this case? All right, we will take a quick break and do a working lunch. We'll be back in 12 minutes at 12:20 p.m.
Thank you.
Gillis. I'm the interim director with Planning and Urban Design. I have Lawrence Agu with me, who is our chief planner, and Patrick Blades, who's also our chief planner, both of them being key folks involved in the Forward Dallas process. So with this, we wanted to come to you today to provide you a relatively brief update. I'm not even calling it a briefing, but an update on Forward Dallas of where we're at and what you can expect. To sort of kindly say to start mentally preparing for this next phase of Forward Dallas now that we're moving into CPC. So where we're at in the process, the Comprehensive Land Use Plan Committee, the committee of this body, recommended the draft of the document to you all, to CPC, to start your review on the 9th, January 9th. So we have now made it through the committee phase, and this document will be coming to you all to start your review. So one, that's the big piece of the update that we wanted to provide with you. I want to provide a timeline as well. And I also want to address a few things. You go to the next slide. I guess the next couple, so you can, yeah. I want to go through a few items first, because I'm sure all of you or most of you have seen there's just a lot of articles going around. There's a lot of social media posts. There's a lot of what Forward Dallas is, what it isn't, what it's doing to certain parts of the city. And I sort of want to establish a baseline for all of us to have that discussion. The articles will continue. I'm assuming the posting will continue, but I'm hoping that ideally what we can do is continue to move forward with an open discussion and really hopefully get into the matter of the document itself, what it is proposing, what it isn't proposing. We can probably go to the next slide on this one. So I think one of the clearest things, and this is, obviously for you all, but anyone listening as well, is that Forward Dallas, I can't emphasize enough, it is a vision document. It is guidance. It is future land use, which is not zoning. It guides zoning, but it does not zone anything. So we've been hearing a lot that Forward Dallas is going to de facto make all of our neighborhoods allow up to, it's going to rezone our neighborhoods to allow up to 4 units. And that's just not the case. It doesn't even have that recommendation in the document. It doesn't have a specific recommendation like that in the document. It does talk about how we think about how we accommodate more housing throughout the city, but it does not get into those specific issues. You've probably also all heard that there is another process or a separate item going on where we've been discussing. We've gotten a 5-signature memo from council members where they've asked staff to bring forward sort of an item, a framework, an agenda item to have a conversation about 3plexes, 4plexes, minimum lot sizes moving forward. I just want to be clear that that is a completely separate process from Forward Dallas. Forward Dallas is facilitating those conversations, but Forward Dallas is not going into the weeds about those kinds of things. It's 2 separate processes. So I want to make sure that we're clear on that, because I feel like every 10 minutes I'm getting some question about this and fact checking this and doing this. And so there's a lot circulating right now, which, in a way is exciting. I'm trying to think of the word I want to use. I mean, it just means that people are paying attention, right? And we do want people paying attention to the issues. We do want to have a conversation, but I want to clarify some of those so that we can actually have some constructive conversations, because I think there are a lot of people that are confused. And part of our job is to make sure that we're helping with that confusion. So, as I said, Forward Dallas does not call for the elimination of single-family neighborhoods. In fact, our place types talk about how it being very real that there are areas of the city that are predominantly single-family residential. They will remain predominantly single-family residential, but within our areas, how we are addressing housing moving forward. It is planting the seed that we need to continue having these conversations about the how. It does not give the prescription of the how. It basically is encouraging and continuing to encourage the conversation. As I said, it does not prescribe one specific answer. Now, I will say there is one relatively prescriptive recommendation in the plan as it relates to housing, and that is addressing accessory dwelling units, and that we allow accessory dwelling units by right in single-family residential or in all residential districts. Now, again, I will say this is where you've got a prescriptive, very detailed recommendation. A couple of things on that. That in and of itself does not zone anything. Again, that's a recommendation. We would have to come back and have a separate process then that would actually be the rezoning or the code amendment process, whatever it might be. Forward Dallas, just because it recommends that they should be allowed in residential districts, does not make it so in and of itself. A separate process needs to happen. And following up on that as well, I want to emphasize there is still plenty of time now as we get to CPC, get to this body, of still having dialogue about how the language is actually expressed in the plan. It is not done. There is not concrete, the language isn't black and white until City Council adopts that document. So if there are concerns about that recommendation, let's have a conversation about it. Are there ways in which we adjust some of the language to make it less concerning? I give that example because there's also this, idea that it's zoning, one, that Forward Dallas makes it happen, or that 2, somehow we've shut the door to additional conversation. And we have not shut the door to additional conversation. And I hope that through this body, I think the Comprehensive Land Use Committee has done an incredible job getting us to this second draft that's coming to you. And now you get to put your mark on it as well. And I think that that's going to make it an even stronger document. And so that is the plan coming forward to you with this document. So I'll give a project update. And from this point forward, we've sort of already gone through. I'm not going to go through where we're at in the document, that there are themes, because we've talked about that. I've given a briefing on that. There are the driving themes in the document, which you'll be able to see. But I do want to give the largely the update and now the next steps, and also then open it up for questions. If there are any questions and specifics that you all might have for us, or even requests as we're coming to you all with this document. So as I mentioned, again, we made it through CLUP. We've got 2 members of this body that were on the Comprehensive Land Use Plan Committee, Commissioner Hampton, and Commissioner Carpenter and Commissioner Rubin, who is chair of the Comprehensive Land Use Plan Committee. So they will be really great resources for us moving forward. The Comprehensive Land Use Plan Committee met countless times, honestly. I mean, we do have the number counted, but you can actually see on this screen that many times to go over Forward Dallas. Now, when it really ramped up was in September, when we provided them with the first draft of the document. And they met at least twice, they met twice a month since September to go through that document, and we had multiple all-day long meetings. So I hope that you can trust in the work that they did and how much commitment they put into really scrubbing this document to make sure that we had a solid draft to bring forward to City Plan Commission. And then we also met with the technical review committee. So our internal departments and our external agencies that touch upon the recommendations within this document, had them review this document specifically to their areas of expertise. So transportation, housing, infrastructure, community facilities, parks, economic development, really going through, and then our external agencies as well, and having DART and the county look at this document. So there have been a lot of touch points. And then we've gone over, obviously, this too. You've seen this document about the community engagement that's gone through in this process, and we're fleshing this out. We're mapping all of the different areas, so we'll have that information for you as well. And just updating so that we can be very clear about where we're going, where we've been as far as the engagement in this document. As I mentioned, we're having roundtable discussions. We had one on Tuesday because we want to make sure that people are aware, as there have been changes since the Comprehensive Land Use Plan Committee got their first draft. And so we want to make sure to highlight, for those who have followed us throughout the process, we want to make sure to highlight those changes since the Comprehensive Land Use Committee has recommended the draft. So we've been having roundtable conversations. We had one on Tuesday, and we're going to have one tomorrow at noon, just to talk about the key highlights of change since the first draft of the document went out in September. And also, again, so people can understand what the timeline is and what the opportunities still are for public engagement. And I'm not going to go through these pieces unless we have this will be for we'll go through the timeline of what you can expect for this document. So we have currently what staff is working on right now are all of the updates that we received from the Comprehensive Land Use Plan Committee, incorporating those into an updated document. We will, and I will say there's been question about, well, how will we know what was changed? We have a series of drafts that show the major change areas in the document so that you'll be able to track the changes in the document. It's in different colored text of what has changed over the process. We will also, when we come to you, we will highlight what those major changes are and any outstanding issues that we know where maybe the Comprehensive Land Use Plan Committee was not completely 100% positive that this was the direction that they wanted to go in, or this was the language that they wanted to see, and thought that their time was done with the document and it needed to be moved on to CPC. So with that, we've got a group of staff who's working on those final updates to get a new draft updated. We hope to have that new draft updated by mid-February or the first part of February. On February 1st, we plan to come to you with a full briefing of the content of the document. We won't have the document set itself, but we want to prepare you for what you're going to see in the document, highlight some areas that we think that you should, you know, focus on. Obviously, if you want to read every single piece of the document line by line, we are absolutely encouraging that. But we will let you know some of those, you know, more significant touch points where it might be helpful to pay a little closer attention. And then also talk about the structure of the document and how we may approach the review process of this document. So that'll be February 1st as the primer, leading into February 15th, which prior to that, we will send out the updated draft of the document for you all to start reviewing that document. And then we will come to you on the 15th, and the 15th will be a briefing and public hearing. And this is relatively tentative, but this is kind of what we're proposing. And so then leading into, this is the next part. Leading into ideally our ideal situation, I just want to just reiterate that we started this in fall 2021. We had our first kickoff in fall 2021. We are eager to have an updated plan adopted for the city. Our goal is that City Council will be able to adopt the Forward Dallas plan before it goes into recess in July of this year. So by June of 2024, that is our goal. That means that we have about 3 months with you all, and we're hoping that we can do the reviews within your regularly scheduled meetings. Depending if you really all want to go into the weeds on things or feel that there are things that we really need to undertake, that it may seem that we can't get to those within our regularly scheduled meetings, staff would like to have conversations with you about potentially having specially called meetings just to discuss Forward Dallas. So again, planting that seed for you all just to think about, and just so that we're framing out what we're looking at for the goals for this timeline. We would also like to think about ways that we make it easier for the public to provide comment, potentially thinking about certain meeting times for public comment, so that, you know, oftentimes, you know, people have to wait around all day and then we get to it at the end of the agenda. So thinking about different options, we also want to make it easier for you all to hear from the public and for it to be more predictable for the public to provide comment. So that is where we're at with this process. We're here if there are questions about any of that, and we're happy to you know, dive further into those questions. Thank you.
And there are questions. Vice Chair Rubin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Ms. Gillis, for your great update. We've been working on Forward Dallas for a long time. I just have a couple of questions to clarify. I think you addressed a lot of what I was going to ask about. First, you said that Forward Dallas is not a zoning change. I wanted to drill into that a little more. Is it correct that Forward Dallas, under state law, as a comprehensive plan, can't be a zoning change, and any changes to our zoning map or, you know, ordinance would have to go through, you know, standard processes for approving zoning changes?
That is correct. There's language all over state law, and I think even at the local level, that comprehensive plans do not constitute zoning.
Okay, great. And when we talk about the sort of missing middle housing that the plan addresses with a few, you know, very specific objections, but also some larger, you know, objectives, but also some larger, you know, higher level thoughts. Do we talk about how, you know, this missing middle should be, you know, developed and allowed to the extent that we allow it in a sort of context sensitive manner?
Yes, we talk about it in general about allowing it throughout our city in a context sensitive manner. How it gets applied, we don't go into the details in Forward Dallas. We say that we provide some shaping of ways to start the discussion if we went down the zoning and the code amendments path, which would be a separate process after Forward Dallas were to get adopted. We talk about some location, you know, should we be looking at certain locations first? You know, certain areas that may already have a certain development context. But it does not dictate the exact answer to how it gets applied.
That exact answer comes through future zoning and ordinance changes. Okay. Great, thank you.
Commissioner Wheeler.
How will the area plans coincide with Forward Dallas?
So area plans, any area plan that would get any plan with a future land use plan, area plan, corridor plan, neighborhood plan, they would all get adopted as components into the comprehensive plan. So they become part of the comprehensive plan. They stand on their own, but they also become a component of the comprehensive plan.
So you know that the one I'm in particular is the
Yes.
South Dallas area plan. So will we be attempting to adopt that within that time frame or after the Forward Dallas?
I think the timing of it, and Patrick, maybe you can, the timing of whether or not it can happen either way, because we've been working with, just depends on the timing of the area plan now at this point. Well, actually both. But it can happen because we've been working in a coordinated effort with both, so that they both speak to each other, that there is no inconsistency between the two plans. So it could happen before or it could happen after.
Okay. And one last thing. So is the Forward Dallas addressing possible ADUs, or is that a zoning issue, or is that a recommendation within Forward Dallas?
Forward Dallas makes a recommendation that we should allow them in our residential districts. It will not make it happen in and of itself.
But
That's
it
a
is
separate
recommend-
process.
but
That's
it is
zoning.
for sure a recommendation.
Correct.
Okay, that's pretty much it. And I guess Patrick, anything toward Windows area plans and how close?
Just for the South Dallas, so the only active area or neighborhood or corridor plan that's happening right now is the South Dallas Fair Park plan. And because staff has been involved in that plan and in Forward Dallas, we prepared to be able to move forward, as Ms. Phyllis said, either way. So if we move forward with South Dallas before Forward Dallas, we're able to manage that process. And also, if it's vice versa, we're able to do that as well.
Are you all close? You all are close with the South Dallas area plan?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Commissioner Blair.
Thank you so much for the overview and then the explanations, especially when it comes down to what it is and what it's not, and how it is applied and how it will not be applied. I think that is very helpful. But I do have some questions when it comes down to community engagement moving forward. Will it be at the beginning, you guys went out into the communities and shared what's going on and what it looks like. Will that still happen as we move forward?
So the proactive, tell us what you think engagement, we've sort of moved beyond that phase. Now we've gotten to the point of, developing the draft that is now going through this process. So we're not going to undertake another big heavy lift in that community engagement. These roundtable discussions that we're having recently, we do want to keep people updated on any significant changes that occur in the draft from one reviewing body to the next. So that is what we're going to be doing. We will be doing, if upon request, we've already started getting some inklings of requests from neighborhoods that may want to further understand what we mean by X. Upon request, we can go out and meet with neighborhoods and have that discussion.
Thank you. So how is these meetings that you're having, like the one tomorrow, how are they being notified within the city for the residents? I'm finding that I signed up for one tomorrow, but I didn't know nothing about it.
So the noticing went out in our neighborhood newsletter, which is a compilation of those who have signed up as part of, they attended a Forward Dallas meeting in the past. We've got a whole contact list. I think that's, 3,000 people or something, more 3,000 plus on the list. It's going through that, and it's going through our various social media and all of the information going out. Now, if we need to have more, we can have more. This was the initial touch. from this, we schedule 2 if there is a request and a need because people want to hear more about it or they have more questions. I think I do hope that at this point that everyone has an understanding that if we have a conversation about it and if asked, we go out, we meet with y'all. So if we need to do more, we will do more.
When it comes, now can I switch over to your place types? My district has spoken out with a concern about understanding the place types and how the place types actually fit into what's actually on the ground and how it fits in with the recommendation as to what you guys think should be on the ground. So is there a way to better explain the place types so that more get a clearer picture of what you're trying to express?
Sure. I mean, if there are, what would be helpful for us is if we have this at this point, because we've done a lot of that. If there are if there's a specific area or a specific issue within the place type, it would be helpful for us to understand the specifics of that. So we can talk in very specific terms at this point, because there's been a lot of discussion and engagement so far that I think we're now down to the point of, I need you to explain to me what these 2 lines mean, or what does this boundary here mean, or for this area? We need to get into those specifics so we can be very clear about it and kind of whittle it down from the more abstract.
I'll be more than happy to provide that.
That would be great.
Then the oh my, I just forgot. Excuse me. And I think I'm gonna have to come back because I forgot.
Okay, we have plenty of time to come back, although for the morning section here, Commissioners, we do have a hard stop in about 6 minutes. And we're happy to continue the dialogue on the other side of the hearing. Commissioner Herbert, with my apologies, we're going to have a hard stop here in about 5 minutes, so please.
Yes, this is a quick one, I'm sure. My residents have yelled about a plan that was developed in '88, the Southwest Dallas Land Use Study, that was eventually adopted into a plan. Have those older studies been included or researched in the development of the plan? Thank you.
Yes, they all have. So the first draft of the map incorporated all of the plans that we know that have been adopted to date. So that was the first working draft of the Forward Dallas update. And that's where our starting point was. And so then it was based on those existing adopted plans, including Forward Dallas and that plan as well, and all the other ones throughout the city. Then we started working from there.
I think what would be helpful for my crew eventually is a more specific plan on what from that Southwest plan that they've studied for so many years. What about that is coming over? We'll talk about that later. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hampton.
And just one follow-up question. As you're considering area plans, and I think I heard this, but I wanted to ask you if you could restate it. I think there's been a lot of discussion, certainly coming out of my community, about trying to look ahead to where place types, I think, are getting documented, but where change is likely anticipated or they would like to encourage it. Could you speak to how that's going to be folded in area plans that essentially haven't been initiated yet, how that process might move forward as we look ahead to future adoption of this plan?
Sure. So as this is one of the benefit of having Patrick involved in this process as well, the chief over neighborhood planning, is that, part of what the discussion through Forward Dallas was to identify those change areas, right? And either do they need zoning change areas? Do they need more nuanced plan or detailed planning? So once Forward Dallas is adopted, we know that there are areas that we're going to have to go into to do smaller scaled planning. Is it a neighborhood plan? Is it a corridor plan? Is it a community plan? Whatever it might be. And then those will work off of, you build off of Forward Dallas, you get your more detailed plan. with the smaller area plan. And either it gets adopted right into Forward Dallas because it was consistent enough with the bigger picture, or it amends Forward Dallas because the detail was, whatever changing conditions were so significant that it changed Forward Dallas.
Do you
take each other as
Do you
husband and wife.
moving ahead, kind of fall, summer, fall?
Yes.
Okay, so it would essentially move from one into these more detailed
Yep,
conversations.
we're ready to move into the next phase once Forward Dallas is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioners, let's go ahead and just begin the hearing. We'll continue the questions there. It is 12:51, and that concludes the briefing for the Dallas City Plan Commission. We'll begin the hearing now with the roll call. Ms. Pacina, please.